Hey now, hey everybody, this is Johnny Beane, John Mancuda, talking guitars and 80s metal live. Here we are.
Live.
Welcome everyone. Yeah,
Live.
rocking. It is July 27th, 2021, 8:01 p.m. Eastern, 5:01 Pacific, Santa Cruz, California, Hollywood, California. See, Janice is here. Hey, Janice.
A lot of people are pouring in now to the chat.
Good to see
Chat's
you guys.
starting to fill up.
Yeah. Welcome. Leave a thumbs up, and if you're brand new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. All different shows here throughout the week.
Something for everybody. There's something for everybody, Johnny.
Yeah. Especially if you like rock music, you like rock guitars, especially if you like Van Halen. I mean, this is the place. It really is.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll tell you something. There's something for we have even family friendly shows, of which tonight is not one of them, even though we have a stuffed animal right here. So
look at that. And we got a real one right there.
My buddy Blue Rhino.
Ned the cat taking a nap. There he is.
All our favorite familiars.
Yeah. Speaking of familiars, we have channel memberships here on Johnny Beane TV, and the executive producers.
The big bosses?
Yeah. Charles Green. Is this the new card? Yeah. Charles Green, Wayno, Joe Christian, Michael B., Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Bent Tom, The Chad, James Gum, Jarhead Rock. Welcome back, man. David
He's checking up on us, Johnny. He's checking up on us today. We better be on best behavior.
Yeah. Lenny Lou and Mary. Michael Smith, Randy Price, Stephen Franklin, Dan Halen, Crazy Cook 678, Andy Carson, John Moronic, Jim Ray Hawkins, Mike Neese, R. Habs, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael?
That is the top tier of channel memberships here on Johnny Beane TV. Johnny Beane TV YouTube channel. If you'd like to become a channel member, click the join button right below the 21 thumbs ups we're currently at. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Keep them coming.
Yes.
Before you realize tonight will be a train wreck. Smash that like button now before the quality starts dropping.
Yeah. And again, thank you, Jarhead Rock. He just became a channel. He just upgraded his channel membership. He left a 5 right there. If you notice, the guitar more is green. And what that means.
Notice it, Johnny. I've already got the $5 spent. What are you talking about? I'm online at Amazon.
What that means is any donations towards the channel to support the channel, support these shows, will change the color of my lights back there. And yeah, like Jarhead Rock. It's magic. This is the only show that does it. So thank you so much, Jarhead Rock. Thank you, man.
Right now, David Blaine is watching the show. How the fuck does Beane do that?
It really is magic. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's awesome.
It's amazing that money can buy magic.
Yeah, Stream Elements is here. Wow, I can't believe this.
It's like old home week.
Yeah, this is awesome. We're also live in the Johnny Beane TV Facebook page, where you can help support the channel over there with Facebook stars. That's a digital gift that helps with the production of these shows.
And hello to everyone on Facebook.
Yes. And here's John Mancuda.
In all my idiocy glory. Look at my new Nighthawk shirt.
Oh, look at that.
It's Marvel's version of Batman. You won't find a shirt like that everywhere. Remember the Defenders for all you comic book geeks? Yeah, Nighthawk rules. That's cool. My t-shirt today. I have so many graphic t-shirts, Johnny. I just pile them up. They're very addictive to buy. I see something obscure and cool, pop culture, comic book, cartoony. I'm all about it. Love these. Different one every week.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I got to get some new shirts myself. I wear the same stuff for like years until it just falls apart.
I used to, and now I'm just like so addicted to graphic tees. I go to like places like T Public and some of those online places, and they just have like all these fun, obscure comic books and cartoons and pop culture jokes, and I have like mountains of them now. I just love the damn things.
Mm-hmm.
So fun, so fun. Part of my uniform, part of my costume.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So let's see who's in the chat right now, because we got people pouring in. Let's start in. Let's say hi to Danny's Rock and Metal. How are you, man? Jarhead Rock, we said welcome back, brother. And again, you notice a lot of people have ascended up in the company, Johnny. We have more bosses than ever. They're coming in like magic. I don't know what the hell. Everyone's really working hard. Lenny, Lou, and Mary, executives in the cubicle. And I don't know, maybe Mary's blowing the big CEO, or I don't know. But everyone's rising in the ranks suddenly. Oh, there he is. The bane of my existence, David Crosby. The bastard. I don't like this show. Well, I don't like you. I hate the show. I hate you. You wait till I pull out your voodoo doll later and give you a stick to the grundle. Let's see who else we got. Mike Johnson in the house, Mike Neese in the house, Crazy Country, Christopher Live Sawa. How are you, man? The original Paramutant, Marky FX, Janice, la 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 la. Matthew Stewart in the house, Jesus Rapes Me in the house, my buddy Fruitcake Tony in the house. How are you, brother? Hal Face, Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs. Hey, man. Bad week for metal. We're going to talk about that. Let's see. Hellstorm, Vim69. Hey now. Thomas Santiago, my girl Alice Martinez, R2R3 Locking Nut. How are you, brother? Hey now. David Shea Gomery and the lovely Mrs. Gomery. Now that he's married, the ball and chain is on, Johnny. That's another one we lost. It went from, honey, would you like a hot chicken pot pie and a blowjob? Yes. And then right after the wedding ceremony, well, you better suck your own dick and buy us some dinner. It's all downhill from there, kids. That's why I'm single like a Pringle. Plus, nobody wants me. Let's see. Who else? Leo Safko in the house. Stream Elements in the house. How are you? Nightbot in the house. Thomas Santiago in the house. Eduardo Roman. Wow. There's a mighty name. That's like a porn name. I'm Eduardo Roman. Welcome to the Roman Coliseum, gladiators. Comes out like a leather Trojan skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see. G-Man in the house. Majestic PB&J Cat in the house. Browns fan in the house. James Gum in the house. Chris Bevan in the house. How are you, man? Kurt 5150. Hal Face in the house. Jimmy Ray Hawkins in the house. Michael the Captain Smith. Hello.
Hey, man. We miss you on Saturdays.
Captain, pop on with us. Pop on with us if you want to hang a bit.
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, let's see. Johnny, send him an invite. Let's see. Who else? And everyone else pouring in. They're coming in hard and fast, Johnny.
Facebook. We have Facebook as well. We got Brian Sparks from Canada. We have Sherman Callahan. Sherman Callahan, thank you for the stars, man.
Thank you, Sherman.
Good to see you guys.
I don't get to see the Facebook chat. Only Johnny gets to see that. So you can keep talking. Johnny will let us know if you say something.
Oh, it goes crazy, man. We get there's tons and tons of other comments over on
70,000 Facebook comments, and I don't get to see one of them because I'm on a different feed. But Johnny gets to see them. So we either way appreciate you, no matter what way you watch. Even if you're stealing someone else's internet, we appreciate you watching. We're very happy to have you.
If you're watching from prison, welcome.
Yeah, listen, as long as you smash that like button, we're happy to have you. Especially prison, because listen, there's nothing else to do. E flat 916 in the house. How are you, man? I mean, there are other things to do in prison. We don't want to talk about them, but speaking of prison, Paulie will be in a little later, and so
be in prison.
No, David Shea Gomery's in prison. Marriage. No. Of course, we're joking. Marriage is a wonderful institution for some people.
It's great. I've been married for almost 20 years.
Yeah. And you never had a fight? And you never had
29.
a fight? Yeah.
No, never.
Johnny got married at 9 years old. Yeah. It was an arranged marriage at the elementary school. They're all serving Hostess cupcakes as instead of a wedding cake. Barney was the person making the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Do you love her and you love me for as long as you both shall live?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
E flat 916. I'm glad you're not in prison, man. That's good. Everyone stay out of prison.
Yeah.
Tube Supio in the house. How are you, man? Tim Thomas in the house. Johnny, they're pouring in like a flood. I can't even keep up with everyone coming in.
Yeah, especially with the new, because I told you last time we're in the beta for the new there's a new StreamYard feature they're rolling out at some point. I always get in the beta for like all this different stuff. But for our StreamYard chat here, it's like seamless chat.
Seamless.
So it's like if you guys are watching on Facebook, like the chat just like rolls, right? Like just keeps going. With StreamYard, it used to be real blocky, where it would show like so many, and then it would just like switch to like the next page,
Johnny,
but,
executive producer Charles Reen just walked into the chat.
Oh,
another of the big bosses. We are really under scrutiny today. I know the executives of Bang Energy Drink are watching this episode, so we really got to be on best behavior. We're going to try to have a really good, clean show, and then when we fail, they'll probably drop us their sponsorship. But let's see. Renus, Dr. Pinkle is in the house. How are you, Doctor?
Hey.
Let's see. Christopher Live Sawa coming in. They're pouring in. Yeah, RT3R locking up. Paulie's going to come in a little bit. We love the great Neanderthal.
We're getting text messages as well. Apparently, I've got a phone number on the screen. Jimmy Ray Hawkins. Oh, nice, man. Jimmy Ray Hawkins just got a nice guitar.
New Guitar Day, baby. What do you got?
Right there. He got a Music Man.
Wow. What a beautiful top on that thing. Last time I said that was at the Bikini Beach.
Oh, man.
Wow.
There you go.
Nice.
An Axis Sport.
Beautiful quilted blue. Wow.
And look
at that.
And there we are in the background. See?
Ha
Awesome. Congratulations.
We get residuals for that, Johnny.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr's in the house.
Jimmy
Carr.
Oh,
Jimmy. I know, Christopher. I got to watch Archer. Johnny, do you watch Archer? I got to check that out. I watch a lot of stuff. I was watching Family Guy the other day. I watched let's see, I watched a binge of Family Guy, and then I watched Rick and Morty a lot. And everyone, I did a Comic-Con this weekend. I was at a Comic-Con this weekend, the Torpedo Con in the Great Neanderthal. Everybody,
hey,
hi, and Ace.
He's What's up, buddy?
He's like, oh, is the show on? Can't do the show without me.
Hi, buddy. No kidding.
He's such a
look at that handsome boy.
How you doing, buddy? I love
and
you
Ace
too.
Is
yes,
cute
I love
too.
you too.
I love you too, buddy.
Oh, Daddy! I'm so happy to be on the
air. My dogs are ridiculous.
They're awesome.
Such good, and you might hear a squeaking sound. That will be Lemmy. She's in on her pillow, but she's got a ball between her front paws, and she's just happy as a pig in shit right now because she's regular again.
I thought that was my mother's bed
cool.
Squeaking. I'm finally getting laid.
Oh,
there she is.
Did you hear it?
I did.
Yeah. I got fucking dog hair in my mouth.
You sure it's the dog and not pussy cat hair?
You never realize how much a German Shepherd sheds until he gives you a hug.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like all over your nice Van Halen shirt there. Look at
Is
that.
it all over my shirt? Yeah, I'm sure. Whatever.
That's all right.
Awesome. You got the classic logo there.
Yeah, this was a gift from executive producer Wayno.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
When he sent it to me, it was addressed to Cleo McDowell, which is what I sign in. That's what I sign into when I'm on tour.
Cleo McDowell. Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. So anyway, so I did Torpedo Con this weekend. It's a comic book convention in Hollywood.
Boy, that was a lot of traveling for you, was it?
Literally
lot of travel time.
Literally, Paulie, I walked. It was 15 minutes walk from my house. Literally,
So you got your steps in anyway.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was the most convenient comic convention I've ever been to, and it's run by John Dolmayan, who's the drummer of System of a Down.
Yeah,
and a very good friend of mine, sweetheart of a guy, and
they're the nicest guys in the world. I'm not a huge System of a Down fan musically, but I ran into them at you know who David Benavista is?
I know the name.
He's it's Beano, Beano. Beano is a
fart repellent.
Beno. David Benavista he's a promoter guy, a promotions guy.
Oh, okay.
Does a lot of marketing and stuff for metal bands and stuff like that. And Beano's office is in Hollywood. And years ago, we went up to visit him. We were there for a radio and records convention, and we went to visit Beano. And damned if Chavo and what do you call it, Serge, were both sitting there, and we just sat down and hung out. They were just the nicest guys for a band that is so intense. You sit down with them, and they're way passive and way almost hippies.
They're just very down to earth.
They're so nice guys. You think a band like that would be intense all the time. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention the passing of Joey Jordison too.
Well, we're going to talk. We're going to talk about a couple of deaths, unfortunately, this week.
Yeah, but just the nicest guy in the world. So John does the Comic-Con.
Yeah, so I wound up doing the Comic-Con. It's 3 days of pop culture, everything, and fun, and there's pretty girls there, Vera Vanguard's walking around there, and you have a lot of comic book artists and stuff, and everyone's coming up to me and asking, did I watch the new Masters of the Universe yet? Which is basically the old He-Man cartoon, but this time done by Kevin Smith, and I haven't yet, but I'm going to watch it this week. And I've heard mixed reviews on it. Someone in the chat brought it up, and I've heard mixed reviews on it. So good and bad. I don't know yet. I heard Mark Hamill's good as Skeletor, but that's really all the back and forth I've gone through. I don't want to know any spoilers.
Yeah, he's look, Kevin Smith is obviously a huge comic book nerd, huge superhero fan, and when you get a guy like that in control of a Hollywood production, whether it's television or a movie, their passion,
miniseries. Ongoing cartoon series. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but when you get a chance to do that, you get a guy, and they actually have a personal investment or a personal interest in it. I think that tends to, whether it's inadvertent or not, make the quality that much better. There's an extra level of approval that I think they do great.
Oh, it's definitely a labor of love for him, because I know for a fact he loves the property. And,
right.
Like I said, I haven't watched it yet, so I can't really, to answer in the chat's question, I can't really tell you what I thought of it, but I'm looking forward to it. And this week I absolutely will. Let's see. Pooh Ninja says Neanderthal looks a bit dark-sided today. Because how hot is it in Arizona today, Paulie?
104.
104 degrees in the evening.
Is that all?
Evening.
Yeah, it's actually, it's funny you say that, because it is actually cooler than it has. It's also 104 and relatively humid for us, because we've had rain for a couple of days, so it's still sort of soupy. But yeah, it's 104 degrees, so I don't have my lights on, because it just creates unnecessary. There's that squeak.
Yeah.
At some point, she's going to want to eat, and I'm going to have to tap out. But until then, let's just play. Hi, buddy.
Looks like she's ready to eat. He's ready to eat your face. He's like,
he's always ready to eat. That's because I've got this. Now, when
You
you've
got
got one of
big
these,
balls. You got big balls.
I
Paul.
have the power.
She-Mel.
Look at the. I have his undivided attention right now, buddy. You want that?
He's like, ever since I went to the vet and they took my balls, that's the only time I have an opportunity
Watch
to have
this.
such a thing.
Watch this. He thinks he's sneaking it. He thinks he's sneaking it. He's like, ha ha. So here we are.
Wow.
Nice. Anyway, so yeah.
So did you do well at the Comic-Con thing? Were you recognized?
Yeah, I mean, people over there know me.
Security.
Yeah, I know, right? Security's like, that guy was eyeing one of the girls at the counter. Keep an eye on him,
We told you last year, don't come back.
No, I mean, I know when I go into certain elements, people know me. If I go to NAMM, people know me from, the guitar hobby. If I go into a Comic-Con, people know me from, Lost or Hollywood Treasure or the comic book hobby. They, those pop culture hobbies, I'm known in those circles.
You also show
up to the supermarket versus I go to the supermarket and they think I'm shoplifting lettuce.
You also show up on the Nextdoor app has moved into the neighborhood.
Exactly. and that is Hollywood. So they're like, we have a sexual predator that's right by the show. We got to watch for this guy.
And the winner of the 2021 Harvey Weinstein Award is
Come on.
Kevin Spacey.
Oh, God damn it. That's so unfair. He took it 2 years ago already. I have tried so hard. Oh, man. Really unfair.
What do you think you're doing? Let that go. Hey.
David Shea Gomery. Yeah, I took a couple of pics with folks at Comic-Con. It's not like San Diego Comic-Con. Torpedo Con, it's a small comic convention. I already know most of the regular people over there. But yeah, I mean, I took a couple of photos with people, but I mean, San Diego Comic-Con, that's a big, 200,000-300,000 people. This was, thousands of people shuffling in and out.
2 or 3 people.
Yeah, 2 or 3. It's me and the coffee vendor outside. You gonna buy something? Do I look familiar? You just came up on my Predator app.
So I'm going to let people in behind the scenes. While you were out doing your thing, I get a phone call from Mancuda. He's at Amoeba Records. And I remember I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. We're sitting on the show. Yeah, we're sitting on the show.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, because I think I shined out last week because I had some stuff.
Yeah, you're right. It was 2 weeks ago.
And I was like, hey, if you're in an Amoeba, grab this record for me. And then you called me. You're like, yeah, I'm in Amoeba. What record was that again? I don't remember. So thank you for at least thinking.
No, I'm always thinking of my friends. It was just funny. It's like, after the show, I'm walking home. And like I said, it's held at the Palladium. So it's like I go from the Palladium to my house. I'm passing Amoeba Records. And I duck in there and, it's crowded. It's fun. It's like, just a fun hangout. I'm flipping through looking for like used Maiden albums and used Megadeth and all sorts of obscure stuff. They don't have as much used stuff as they used to in the old location. And I don't know if it's just, they just don't get supply or.
No, I saw that happening here. We have our local record store, local chain record store is called Zia Records, and it's based out of Vegas, but there are 4 or 5 locations here in Phoenix. And as I've been going in over the years, I've noticed their CD collection smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't think, and their vinyl collection is getting bigger. I think that 2 things: A, people aren't trading in CDs anymore; they're not making CDs anymore, and people aren't buying CDs anymore.
I am.
And so, yeah, I know. I mean, at the risk of being a dinosaur, your local favorite CD store of choice or record store of choice is no longer going to have the kind of rich, vast selection that it used to. So if you see it, buy it. That's kind of the way it is.
Sure.
There's some stuff that I wouldn't normally buy. Something like for example, Twisted Sister put out a 2-volume collection called Club Days years ago, and I bought the and I bought the studio demos, and I was like, I don't really need a live record. And then I happened to see the live record at a CD store, and I was like, well, The chances of me seeing this again are probably really rare. It's long since out of print. I'm not going to see it again. And if I'm going to, instead of waffling, just buy it. And then, you know what I mean? Better to have it and never use it than wish you had it and need it. You know what I mean?
Because the problem is, if you don't buy it, it'll show up one day on eBay or in some rare CD dealer, and it'll be like $100, $100 and something bucks. I mean, I've had that. I've had that happen. I told you, like, you know, one Killer Dwarfs record, one Hurricane record, really hard to find on CD. So
the first version of Kill 'Em All with Am I Evil and Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, it ain't easy, kids. You know, so when you see it, you pick it up. But they did have a large selection of vinyl, and it's really growing because I guess, you know, people are making that transition too. But I still didn't see a lot of used stuff. It's like I went through Iron Maiden. There was none of the old albums, like nothing. Not even like the easy ones like Peace of Mind or you know, Number of the Beast or, you know, Power Slave even. I mean, nothing.
That's probably because they
nothing
moved.
Vintage.
Because the two amoebas here in the Bay Area are always stocked with like everything.
Vintage, like vintage stuff?
Oh yeah. All the time.
I'm thinking they might have given a lot of their used stuff to the ones by you, Johnny, because this place is smaller than the previous building they were in.
Mm-hmm. It used to be huge. The one down there.
It's still big. It's still very big, but it's not. It's not as big as the one down the block used to be.
Was it a bowling alley or something? Originally,
the place that it's in now,
the Amoeba, something has some sort of connection with bowling. Yeah, the Hollywood location.
Not that I know of. At least not the one it's in right now. The one
it's
in right now, I don't know what was in there before.
The original location is in Berkeley, California. That's the original one. It's huge. You can find anything there. Up the street from there is a place called Rasputin's Records, and this is both on Telegraph Avenue, another amazing place for vinyl. And then you go across to San Francisco on Haight Street, there's another Amoeba, which is more similar to what the Hollywood location used to be.
Now, they also, when I was in Sacramento, if I remember correctly, was it Dimple Records? Dimple Records. Yeah, Dimple was what I used to go to in Sacramento, and that was pretty good. That was a pretty good record store, and that's closed now.
I mean, in New York, I always go to, there's a few of them, Mr. Cheapo's.
Yeah, Mr. Cheapo's, I think, is closing.
No, that guy's like a cockroach because he pays like a penny for everything valuable and sells it like constantly. And he's always offering coupons that drive people in there. I love going in there, but he's never going to leave. And he's got his son in the business.
Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs, it wants to argue a point. The original Kill 'Em All pressing did not have Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil covers, but when they were signed to Elektra Records, they released it with those two on it, and that's the original CD release of it. When Elektra released Kill 'Em All, re-released it under their label, it had those two songs on it. Yes, and I have the Blitzkrieg Am I Evil EP as well, the Creeping Death EP. But
you're both right. There's just different variations.
It's the metal. The original Megaforce did not. But when Elektra signed Metallica and issued their albums on CD, the first copies of Kill 'Em All had Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil on
them. That's the one I have because I know I have those songs on there.
Yeah. And then there's the Creeping Death EP, which I have on the Music for Nations, the import EP that came out on CD.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say.
I didn't realize you weren't done.
Go ahead.
And somebody will just go ahead.
No, I thought Paulie was done. I was going to dive on something else, but go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's just that was the point. It's just that Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs likes to correct when we talk about thrash metal, and
it's okay.
And we're there, so I just wanted to address it.
It is his name.
Yeah, and we are a discussion show, so we're all good, kids. No, but speaking of picture discs, I didn't see many. I saw I went in the Kiss section and I'm looking for like various, there's a lot of Kiss picture discs, I'm looking for them. All I saw was the Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons solo albums as picture discs. That's it. And a lot of copies of them, but no Ace Frehley, no Peter Criss. So, they're still like pressing those, but only two of those.
Well, the Ace Frehley ones probably sold out. And the Peter Criss ones were probably used as coasters because that was just Peter Criss's stuff away from Kiss is awful.
Yeah,
awful.
tell me about it.
It's just not good. But yeah, I picked up. Let's see, I picked up Nothing Sacred from Babylon AD this week.
That's a good album.
What else did I find that was fun? The One Big Wreck album that I didn't own, which is a great band from the '90s that most people don't know about.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, Big Wreck's a great band.
Big Wreck.
Yeah, you'd know they have two songs. One's called The Oath, and the other one is called That Song. They're
Well,
a good band.
it's my ballad, The Oath.
Yeah, but they're Big Wreck is one of the few bands from the '90s that put out quality material, but because they're Canadian, nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not lying.
They probably messed with some people and.
No, they were great. They were failed musicians and got a podcast.
Much like Popcorn the band.
Yes. I also picked up, and I haven't listened to it yet, but I bought it just because I'm a completist and I'm waiting for it. LA Guns have put out a Cocked and Loaded live CD.
Yes, we talked about that last week.
Oh, did we? All right, then. Yeah.
Well, we mentioned it. You could talk about it because you actually have a physical copy.
Yeah, I have a physical copy of it, and it's that's the version of LA Guns. It's the Tracy
Phil Lewis
version. There's been the Stephen Riley version. The Stephen Riley version has put out a couple of records, and they've both been awful.
What's missing from the Steve Riley version?
Is the creative force of LA Guns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Phil and Tracy.
Yeah.
So, and Tracy Guns does no wrong in my eyes. I
almost bought the Sun Bomb record and I didn't.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't buy it. I had a handful of things in my hand and I was like, all right, which $13.99 can I do without? You know what I mean?
Oh, you need that one, man. It's good.
I'm sure it is. I'm a huge Michael Sweet fan, and I like
this
Tracy.
Is good.
And I just that was like one of those ones. I'm like, all right, I'm already going to spend $100 here. I'll get it next time.
Yeah, next time it's gonna be sold out. You're gonna be paying $100 each.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. What you do is this is what you do, right?
Yeah, you go to YouTube and you listen to all the tracks. You put it on your wave editor and you steal it free.
Well, John Biel, I don't know.
Johnny's still trying to get LimeWire working and Napster working.
Kazaa.
He's got 3 computers going.
Yeah. But at a place like Amoeba, though,
fail.
They have so much stuff. If there's something you want to get next time, you can hide it like anywhere else in any part of the store, and only you will know it's there.
Johnny probably hid like everything I was looking for. I'm like, damn,
go back later and it'll still be there in that hidden location. It's true.
No, I can see that. I mean, it's a big place with a lot of hiding places. It's probably homeless people camping out there. They'll never find me here.
But I'm that guy.
Themselves with the Peter Criss albums.
This is a gatefold
here.
Yeah, but I end up being that guy though that because I do go from the rock section to the blues section to the jazz section.
Hide anything in jazz, it'll still be there.
To the hip hop section. But it's funny because I'll be the guy that's looking through
tunes.
I'll be the guy that's going through the show tune section and go, oh look, Phil Lynott solo and Soho. Fuck yeah. They've misfiled this.
The Abercrombie polkas. Oh.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny. Bruce Dickinson was in an interview recently and he was reminiscing like some of the best time of his life was when he was a kid and he would go to the record stores. And he says, I'd be, all stressed out from school and parents and all sorts of, stuff that was coming in on me and crushing me. And he's like, I'd go to the record store. I'd say, hey, this is before everything's online. I'd say, hey, can I listen to this new record? They'd put it on. You'd listen to the whole thing. And then you wouldn't buy it because none of us had any money. But you'd meet your friends outside, say, hey, did you listen to this? Yeah. And you'd start talking music and hang out outside the record store. And, that was it. That was your day. And I was like, that sounds like a good time, man. Hey, Dwight Bailey.
I used to do it all the time. There was I still do it. Like if I just need to get out of the house, I just go to the record store and I like at this point, there's 3 near my house, 3 different Zia Records locations near my house. And I pretty much know everything that they have in stock right now, and I will now. Like, I won't have to go for another month because I know everything that's in those racks. Because I start at A and just all the way through. I'm like, oh look, here's a guy that I don't own their records. I haven't like I picked up a couple of the records that I didn't own from Candlebox.
Oh, sure.
Because I'm not a huge Candlebox fan. I love the first record, but I'm like, okay, new music right now sucks. I really want to pick up some music that I didn't really get into the first time around. I'll just do that.
Sure.
You know?
But you
so
put away Sunbomb.
Yeah.
And speaking of new music, let's give a big high-end shout out to the great Jay Hannon of the band Gizmachi. Gizmachi's new album is out, and you should have it. I'm sure somewhere in that chat there's a link to it. Right, Johnny?
There probably is.
I'll bet
There
there is.
probably
In a minute.
is. Yeah,
Bet there is in a minute.
and speaking of how do you spell that?
Good job.
CROSBY.
There we go.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jay Hannon, he's got a new show Sunday nights right
Really?
here. Right
Wow.
here.
How many
Yeah.
fucking shows are you doing?
The Sunday night string change show.
So if
Does
you
he
don't know
just
how
get
to
on and
change your
change
strings, yeah, but different strings on different guitars.
Different guitars and different people. Like different people are going to jump in every week and change strings with us and talk guitars and tech. Yeah.
Nice.
We had a really good show last Sunday. You can check it out. It's in the chat. But yeah, every Sunday, roughly midnight Eastern-ish.
Nice.
There we go.
Well, I know that's going to be good because we all need to change strings. So you might as well watch too.
Yeah, and see, it gives people like me and Jay and whoever jumps in a reason and a time to actually change those strings, just to get it done with. You know,
Bully,
it's a great idea.
They're going to do a remote show from my house. We need more guitars with more strings. Keith Campbell wants to know, will you and Jay be doing a nut swap?
Well, that's on the OnlyFans.
Hey now.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't even remember. I remember being so poor.
How poor were you?
Players. That is that we were so poor. When we had guitar players that only had like one guitar or two guitars, one guitar and a backup. If we were in rehearsal and a string popped, that's it for rehearsal. Because $6 for a set of strings. It was a choice between ramen for the week or strings.
I remember when we were so poor, we used to take our shoelaces and use them as guitar strings and then have to undo them and put them back on our shoes.
I actually, the guitar that I actually used last Sunday, it was my Kramer's Focus. There I am on the left. The D string was actually a string that I found that was 20 years old that I put on the guitar. It was so limp.
How limp was it?
I couldn't even cut the ball off of the string.
Giggity.
It's true. This is true. If you guys watched, you saw.
You heard him, everybody. Johnny was so limp.
Yeah.
I have.
Hey, Mark Dillon.
I have an acoustic right now. The strings are so dead. It sounds awful. It's just you strum it. It's just disgusting. Because it's like
a shoebox guitar.
I sweat a lot. I have greasy hands. You know, I sweat. And I gunk up strings pretty quick. So anything that's a wound string, if I don't have elixirs on it, the gunk gets in between those windings. And I don't, I'm not a string cleaning guy. I don't do the string clean after I'm done playing. I just put the guitar down. And of course it sits there and then it oxidizes and then it rusts and it just sounds like shit.
It's like you have a guitar like Uncle Pecos from Tom and Jerry. Do. Whoa! Froggy went a corn heated right.
Yeah.
Crumble.
And then I wonder why I'm like, oh, this doesn't sound like it's in tune.
He's chasing cats for whiskers for guitar strings. Here, kitty.
Yeah, it's the worst.
James Gum, great idea, man. I'll do that. I'll break out the Silvertone.
The Silvertone this Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
I'll do that, man.
Timmy. on Sunday. So who are you having with you guys this Sunday?
Actually, False Flag wants to join us.
Nice.
So
Well,
you're going to
he's
be on
certainly
two different.
paid for
You're
it.
going to be on two different screens.
So yes, because we
It'll
are
be-
the same person. It's
It'll
true.
be Johnny from the front and Johnny from the side.
And in prison, it was Johnny from behind.
Giggity.
No, so see, tune in this Sunday. You'll actually see we're two different people. It's true.
It'll be Johnny with
So-
like a bow tie, and it's like, I'm False Flag. I'm Johnny Beane. I'm False Flag changing strings. I'm Johnny Beane changing strings.
Who did you hire to pretend to be False Flag? And how
It's
much
like-
are you paying? How much are you paying him?
I'm just gonna talk in a funny voice.
It's like in the old Batman TV show where Batman's across the street and Alfred is in the Batman costume, like, on the other side.
By the way, you know who should be pissed at that? Robin. Robin never gets to be Batman. Even if
Oh,
Batman is trapped, right? What happens? Robin's like, all right, I get to drive the Batmobile. No, must move over. That's me. Like, wait a minute. Alfred fits in the suit. Alfred gets to drive the Batman. Alfred gets to be Batman. What the hell am I here for?
Robin's
I'm
last
putting my
in
time
line.
in.
I've been inside a giant clam with you, Batman. Come on.
I climb those friggin' buildings with you and see all those Hollywood celebrities all the
I'm
time.
looking up your ass every day. You would think you'd let me drive the Batmobile. Can't hear you, Robin. Can't hear you.
Sorry, old chum. Alfred is older and cheaper on my insurance.
You're a minor, chum, and those shorts are stained.
Oh gosh.
Jesus. Speaking of stains, delicious Bang energy drink. Wild and watermelon, their brand new flavor we're promoting. Yum, yum, yum. Give me some wild and watermelon. It's like drilling a hole in a watermelon and sticking it in your vodka bottle and draining it. It's delicious. Wild and watermelon. It tastes like watermelon pop rocks. Yum. Thank you, Bang energy drink. There we go. I guarantee the CEO of Bang Energy Drink is sooner going to be in the Batman costume than Robin.
Yep. Robin never gets to be Batman.
Batman gets his back broken. Robin's like, finally, something. Azrael? What the hell? Yeah, he asked me to be Batman. So Robin's Nightwing. So
Sorry, Master Grayson. You need to move. Move over. I get to drive this. Son of a bitch.
Master Dick. What?
Master,
What do you want?
What? No, Master Dick. That's what I want. I want you.
I like saying it, and that's a clue on how you could get into Batman's good graces. Oh, jeez.
Jeez, huh?
Jeez.
So yeah, that's what's going on. And certainly we lost a couple of people, just two over in the past 2 days.
Yeah, I don't know what this new trend is of everyone dying too fucking young. But it started with Eddie Van Halen, and it's working its way down. Eddie was 65. Then you have Mike Howe of Metal Church, who's 55, and Joey Jordison of Slipknot and Murder Dolls, who's 46, or was 46.
Well, to be fair, Joey had basically a form of MS. And had some health problems for a long time, and
he had spinal and nerve damage.
Yeah, he had some. Yeah. He had some. He had basically an offshoot of MS, but that it was certainly exacerbated by a very extreme lifestyle for years. But he was in failing health for a while, but just 46 years old.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's too. And Biz Markie, we lost
Biz Markie too. 50 something also, right?
Yep, Neil Peart. I mean, all these guys. Meanwhile, Mick Jagger just turned 78 and announced that the Stones are going on tour.
What about Keith Richards? He's like 312.
Well, there is a rumor, and I certainly don't want to perpetuate it, but there's a rumor that Keith Richards has some health issues that he's dealing with right now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, I mean, obviously, it's understandable.
You could send get well cards to his sarcophagus.
Yes. He's not going to die. That's not going to happen.
No. He's never gonna die. He's the version of Eddie on the cover of Power Slave, just in front of the pyramid. That's Keith Richards. That's not Eddie. Yeah, but Mike Howe of Metal Church, 55 years old, crazy, and Heretic.
To be fair, I stopped listening to Metal Church after David Wayne left the band.
Which is sad because Blessing in Disguise is a great album.
Everybody says that. I love the first two Metal Church records, and
I do
it's kind of like me with Queensryche. I don't listen to the Todd Latore version of Queensryche either. Not because I don't.
Also
everybody says it's great, but
it is.
I just it's weird. I go to a certain point with bands, and I think, and it's mostly with singers. I think it's because as being a singer, you just kind of go, okay, I want the version that I want. And that's a shame because they released 4 or 5 really good records with Mike
and he was in Heretic.
Yeah, but Heretic's a good name drop band, but they made the one record and nobody really knows.
It's a good record.
I'm not disagreeing. Record. I'm not disagreeing with that, but Tom Morello was in a band called Lockup. Nobody really cared. It's great, but and Mike's claim to fame is certainly those 4 or 5 Metal Church records, and then having him come back to Metal Church. It's a shame because we have and obviously Jeff LaBar was in his 50s. Biz Marquis. There's a lot of these. It's a sign of
50 is the new 90 apparently.
It's a sign of our own mortality when we're starting to see all of our favorite musicians get too old and be incapable of doing it. Don Dokken, Vince Neil, or hang on too long. Don Dokken, Vince Neil, or I mean, credit where credit is due. How about Coverdale hiring Dino?
Well, we're gonna talk about that too, but
because he's certainly going to be ghosting some vocals because we know that Coverdale doesn't have what he used to have. They've dropped that band down a couple keys, a couple steps to help out with the voice. But bringing Dino in was a good idea. It's another keyboard player, another multi-instrumentalist, and more importantly, a vocalist that can double those vocals with Coverdale and hit those notes that Coverdale can't hit anymore. Probably a good move for Whitesnake.
I mean, here's the thing for those that don't know, Dino Jelicic.
I think it's Jelusic. Yeah,
Jelusic.
Yeah,
I always mispronounce it,
he sings for
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and previously he also sang Dirty Shirley with George Lynch and Animal Drive, which was his own project. And he's a great singer. If you don't know Dino Jelicic, put in Animal Drive in YouTube later on after the show. Look up Animal Drive. Listen to a couple of covers, a couple of songs. His voice is incredible.
He's one of those guys that's like he's a lot like Robert Mason and Jeff Scott Soto, where he's a great singer that has never really popped. You know what I mean?
But he should.
Yeah, and the same thing with Jeff Scott Soto, and the same thing with Robert Mason. These are guys that are great singers that just never haven't had the vehicle to expose themselves. And I think maybe that this Whitesnake tour and thing might be Dino's chance to jump, to use that like John Sykes did. John Sykes was around for a long time before he was in Whitesnake. But then after Whitesnake, he went on and did more things and made him much more a common name, a more known entity, a known quantity. And maybe this is Dino's opportunity to do that. And by the way, everybody's very honest about it. Coverdale's like, look, I've got a great guy in here that's going to help make my job easier with this band. And Dino's like, look, man, I'm jumping into Whitesnake, and then they're only going to allegedly do one last tour, and then he'll jump off and do whatever else is that he needs to do in his career.
And this is typical of Coverdale, where he knows hire the best fucking talent. And he does. And Dino's like a great example of that. But he's smart enough to know I can't hit all those highs. So here's someone going to help me with the vocals. Here's someone that if I need a keyboard player, because they've already got a good keyboard player right now.
Yeah.
But if I need another keyboard player, if I need another bassist, I mean, he covers all bases, pardon the pun.
Yeah.
But as a vocalist, that's really why he's being brought in, is as a second singer to coincide with Coverdale. And I think someone like Dokken or forget about even Vince Neil. I don't even know what to do with that. But it's not a bad idea if you're going to keep touring and you can't do it.
Well,
bring in a young gun to, help you with those highs in a duet,
Well, let's give Dino the kind of praise that he deserves.
Plenty of
Dino can sing like Ray Gillen.
exactly
right?
like him.
Literally just like Ray Gillen. Like if Greg and Jake and Eric wanted to put Badlands back together, Dino's their guy.
Oh God, yeah.
Dino's the guy.
And there's videos of that. There's videos of him singing Badlands.
Dino's their guy. So what do we know about Ray Gillen? Ray Gillen is a better David Coverdale. Ray Gillen has a very similar voice to Coverdale in his prime. Better. Ray Gillen is the greatest singer the world has never heard. He should have been a household name, obviously. Bad decisions, bad lifestyle, bad management. There's just a conspiracy of bad things happened that took Ray from us way ahead of time. But Ray Gillen should be mentioned amongst the greatest vocalists in the history of rock music. He was that good. And Dino is that good.
At least as good. I mean, he's incredible. And we've talked about him in Animal Drive on the show previously.
Right.
Because I know I've said, hey, you guys should check this guy out.
Yeah. Covering
Badlands specifically. It's incredible. I mean, he's really, really good. And obviously to be in Trans-Siberian Orchestra, your other guy is John Oliver, who's an incredible vocalist.
Right.
And Dino's young. Dino's young too.
Yeah, no, Dino is one of those guys. Maybe this is his moment. And that would be great because by all accounts, he's a nice guy too. And you always want to see a nice guy do well. So congratulations to him. Look, the last couple of Whitesnake albums have been pretty good, but that's because you can do anything in the studio. Coverdale is 70 something. And that voice has been beat up for 50 years. I mean, remember when he was in Deep Purple, he was belting it up too. And it's funny because it seems like that's, our first sort of exposure with David Coverdale was when he shared lead vocals and bass duties. Because remember, Glenn Hughes is a bass player as well. So he and Glenn Hughes shared vocals in Deep Purple. Well, Dino's a pretty kick-ass bass player too. So it's almost like Coverdale recognizes his Deep Purple heritage because he also put out a cover record called the Purple Album a few years ago of Whitesnake doing all these Deep Purple tracks. It's almost like Coverdale recognizes, hey, the circle is coming around, and I'm going to walk out the way I walked into the industry as being a dual lead vocalist, which I think is pretty smart on his part.
Very smart.
As much as I'm not a fan of him personally, his music and his voice and everything he's done is great. He's kind of a tool, but outside of that, his band, he's done a great job with that band.
And Hip Metalworks is asking, I hope Coverdale gives Dino the recognition as a second Whitesnake vocalist. He's touting him. He's going in interviews and saying, we just got Dino helping me out with vocals.
Yes.
You're going to love him. He's amazing.
It's great to have another voice in the band.
Yeah. So this is not a matter of Coverdale like sneaking him in or something. He's really, really promoting him. And that's smart. And that's, look,
honest.
Coverdale's smart. Yeah, Coverdale's smart. He's like, look, I know I can't hit these notes, but we're going to give you a hell of a show. And look who I'm bringing in to help me out.
Right.
And what a choice. He has always had a great eye for picking out talent.
Very much the way Ozzy was. When Ozzy,
absolutely.
Ozzy hooked up. When Ozzy puts together a decent band, there's great music that comes out of it. To me, my favorite Whitesnake guitar players in this order are John Sykes and Doug Aldrich. Those to me are my two favorite Whitesnake guitar players. I know Reb Beach but he's a hired gun. Steve Vai, he was a hired gun. But
Vivian Campbell and Adrian Vandenberg, and they're all hired guns. They're all hired
the originals,
but they're all hired guns. Think about it. He basically
Mel Galley, Mickey Moody, Bernie Marsden, those are all great guitar players.
Coverdale basically puts together a buy hire supergroup. that's
Right.
constantly transitioning with guys in a rotating door. But he's had a who's who.
Yeah.
I mean, and all these guys are terrific live.
Yep.
Oh my God, Adrian Vandenberg, God bless you, man. And seeing
Yep.
Vi with him and just everyone he hires, he has an eye for talent and he spends the money and
He's smart.
He's not shy about it. He's very smart. He's a good businessman. And Dino is going to be a big, big asset, and he knows it.
I think it's a great move for Whitesnake. I think, and if you want the show to be better, the show got better.
And you know what? The sad thing is, right now, Paul Stanley is at home, like, I really wanted to hire that guy. Gene told me about him, and I really messed up. I should have gotten to him first, because just put him in a Kiss makeup, and he's me suddenly. Suddenly, Kiss is with a new Paul.
Yeah, Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson brings up
flag.
Mike Johnson brings up that Red Beach has been in Whitesnake for almost 20 years. Yeah, but he was already a known entity. It's like, those guys. These aren't guys that Coverdale discovered. The beginning, when you had the Mel Galleys and the Bernie Marsdens and the Mickey Moody's and those guys, those are the guys that built the foundation for Whitesnake. And then obviously you got John Sykes, who took it to another level. And then MTV happened, and it became a revolving door of known entities. Once Coverdale assembled the Vivian Campbell, Adrian Vandenberg, Rudy Sarzo, Tommy Aldridge, all-star dream team of Whitesnake, and realized, hey, yeah, it really was.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, when you start to put that amount of people, that amount of talent in a band, Coverdale went, hey, this is
Winter
a good
Snake.
formula. Yeah. it was Money Snake is what that was.
Once you get Kid Rock and Scott Baio and Ted Nugent together, it's Limp Dick Snake.
That sounds horrible.
But yes, it does. It's interesting because it's a great example of taking talent on paper and putting them into a band, and then realizing it doesn't work. With Whitesnake, more often than not, everybody that he's brought in has worked. And I think that there's something to be said for that. David Coverdale has a very good batting average when it comes to putting talent in his band. And with the exception of that area, that there was a small window between the Slip of the Tongue record and I think Forevermore or maybe even Good to Be Bad. But there was a small window there where it was just David and Adrian Vandenberg, and it wasn't great. That was the little down period there. But really, when he peaked in the late 80s and then dropped off, then he came back with Good to Be Bad and Forevermore and a couple of really, really good Whitesnake records. Obviously, the public attention has gone far away from Whitesnake, but the quality of the music has been fantastic, not unlike Mr. Big.
Yeah, and pre-Slide It In, it was basically another version of Deep Purple.
Kind of. It had real Bad Company feel to it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of anything before Slide It In. I've tried Saints and Sinners and
I understand
a couple of the others, but
you tried Your Left Hand.
Yeah, I've tried that Crusty Sock Under the Bed. But thank you, Bang.
Tried Bang Can.
I tried sucking on a Bang Can. Tried to fit the whole thing in my throat. Thank you,
David Scher. False Flag. David Scher.
Yeah.
Jarhead Rock. Thank you, guys.
Johnny's cheerleading team of cash.
Johnny's just getting friggin' paid.
Johnny's sitting with an.
How about you share the wealth over there, Beane?
Keeps the show on the air.
Johnny's.
Yeah. What level YouTube subscription do you have, Johnny? The free one?
Huh?
Do you have the free level YouTube subscription? Which level YouTube subscription do you have? We can figure out how much this show costs to keep on the air.
Johnny did do a dirty.
We can work out the math.
Well, I mean, it's a combination of domain names of
Yeah, that's not the domain names have nothing to do with the show.
All kinds of stuff.
The domain names have nothing to do with the show.
Mancuda.com. Go to mancuda.com and sell it to me.
Yeah, is Neanderthal.com included in your expenses? Because I've got a bill I can send you. If you're going to be paying for domain names.
I got a laundry bill of crusty sheets I'm going to send you. Thank you, David Scher.
No, it's
Whitesnake is just a mishmash of perfection all the time. Again, since John Sykes and up, with a little bit of dips here and there. But overall, I'm excited as hell to see where that goes. I really am.
You know, I don't think he's going. I think he's done making new music, or at least he says
they're actually gonna go on tour in 2022 with Foreigner in Europe, and then I think they're gonna go into the studio. That's why I heard the plan is. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Coverdale said he's doing one more tour and he's putting Whitesnake to bed.
I thought he was gonna do one more album. Is what I've been hearing.
Well, you know, look, whatever he does.
I hope I'm right. You know, we'll see.
Yeah,
I dropped off after Slip of the Tongue or whatever.
Yeah, most people did. But you're missing
some, you know, the main big album everyone knows.
You're missing some really good records. Good to Be Bad is fantastic. Forevermore is great. The last one you could hear Coverdale's getting tired. The music was cool, but and the songs are good, but his vocal performance you can hear he's getting a little tired. Kind of like you could hear with Ronnie James Dio at the end of the last Heaven and Hell record. You could hear there was a little bit of straining. Look, when you're in your 70s, none of us are what we were in our 20s.
We're still in our 20s. We're still in our 20s.
It's not bad. It's not
have
bad.
To bend over and they're screaming.
But did you say bend over?
You know, you can hear the age. Not everybody sounds the same as they did 50 years ago, and that's just a just a noticeable thing. Coverdale is a little tired. And if he's done, if he's smart, he leaves before it gets sad.
Wow.
Well, look, note to Don Dokken, who I'd still like to see up there.
That's sad. What Don Dokken is doing is sad. Everywhere you see these videos that have been coming up, watch Don and
sad
George.
And hilarious.
Yeah,
I don't want to laugh at Don Dokken.
Funny.
I love Don, and he's got health issues, and at least he's got George back sometimes to really, bring the show to at least musically a real high. Because Lynch is on fire. Lynch is on fire.
There's a video that went around last week of them doing Kiss of Death.
We were talking about that.
Yeah,
and it's sad.
It's sad.
So sad. It's so sad because Don looks lost. He really does look like Ozzy. Yeah, he sounds awful.
With the kiss where am I? Oh, Kiss of Death. Yeah, but
it's
George
sort
is
of
whipping on the guitar. He's
George seems to be reborn.
Not even reborn. George is always working. The guy never stops.
Well, I'm sure he has some bills to pay.
he's got 4 divorces and kids, so he's got a nut this big to crack.
Hi, buddy. Yeah, it's George's, and it's interesting because George is also. It's funny as we get older, we start to embrace more classic tones. You remember on the last Lynch Mob, the remastered version or the reimagined version. He's playing Les Pauls and a wah pedal a lot. He's not shredding like he did. He can still play, yes. But his evolution as a guitar player has been is a little different. He can still bring it when he needs to, but that's not his style now. Because again, 60-something or 70-something year old George Lynch is not 20-something George Lynch. So it's kind of weird.
This is driving me nuts. Is anyone else getting a Stream Elements pop up on the chat that just won't go the fuck away? Is this just on my end? Because this is driving me nuts. What are
they doing?
The Stream Elements share this video on Facebook thing is just staying right there, and as the chat's going up, it's blocking things and dropping back down to the bottom where I normally read.
No, all I've got is the poll. I have the Johnny Bean poll is just.
You've got Johnny's poll?
All I can see is a black screen.
Close.
I swear to God.
It just won't close.
Let's see the results of the poll. Batman or Robin? 62% said Batman, 35% said the old guy, and 3% said Robin. Sorry, Robin. Yeah, you're fucked again.
He never gets anything.
He never gets anything. Holy, this sucks, Batman. Yeah. So there's a result of our Batman poll, but no, look, with Dokken, I want to see Don. I do, but he needs to do. A lot of guys need to do what David Coverdale is wisely doing, and just basically get some help, get a second vocalist.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
it's a good move.
Oh, and what a pick, man! What a pick! What a pick! Speaking of picks, Swiss Picks, the best gripping pick that you can buy. Swiss Picks, sponsor of the show. Look at those grippable holes, big enough to fit my wee in.
The smallest one.
The smallest one. My smallest wee or the smallest hole. Swiss Picks, get a grip on your guitar playing. Check out Swiss Picks. And look, the Jason Becker edition, that's the one you guys should buy. The blue cheese, the Jason Becker blue cheese helps awareness for ALS, which Jason will thank you for. Swiss Picks. Thank you, Swiss Picks. There we go.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So no, look, Lynch is always working. So I expect him to at least be able to play everything he can with super ability. And look, even if he's changing his new style, I mean, he's still on fire with new product. Be it working with Michael Sweet, be it working with Dino, be it working. I mean, he's just always working. He's a workaholic, and I love it. And Bozique wants to know, which Robin, John Mancuda? Haven't they killed Jason Todd a million times in the comic? He's like freaking Kenny from South Park. Yeah, there's Robin after Robin after Robin. And then you have the Robin from Dark Knight. And then you got, Nightwing, of course. And then the new Robin, Batman's son with Talia. It goes on and on and on. There's always a Robin, and none of them get to be Batman. Not one. None of them. Nightwing is as good as you can get. So, yeah. There you go.
Hi, Lenny.
Let's see. So, yeah, rest in peace. Going full circle. Rest in peace, Mike Howe from Metal Church. Tragic loss. And Joey Jordison.
I'll be back. I got to feed a dog.
Go ahead, man. And Joey Jordison from Slipknot. Now, again, he was the drummer in Slipknot, but if you guys look at the Murder Dolls, who are just terrific, listen to the song Dead in Hollywood. If you haven't heard the Murder Dolls, check out the song Dead in Hollywood, which is like my penis. Check out Dead in Hollywood by the Murder Dolls. And Joey Jordison in that band was the guitarist. And, he's playing that BC Rich Warlock with the blood splatter on it. Again, 46 years old, really sad to see both those guys go. Just a bad week for metal. Just a bad fucking week to lose these two guys so young. I mean, you expect that, like, as we, all get older, really older. These guys are fucking middle age, I mean, on the lower end of middle age. So it's just tragic. So rest in peace, Mike Howe. Rest in peace, Joey Jordison. Rock on in heaven. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? Let me give a shout out to my buddy Craig Vaughn, who I was actually going to call yesterday, and I did not because I was occupied doing some business, Johnny, some musical business that will come to fruition over the next few weeks. People will see it on the show. Let's talk about Lorraine Lewis. Lorraine Lewis was doing an interview recently. Lorraine Lewis, the vocalist formerly of Femme Fatale, now of Vixen. Lorraine Lewis in an interview recently was talking about how she came to join Vixen as Janet Gardner, the former front woman of Vixen, left. Lorraine, basically, she got married. She met the love of her life, married her husband, and decided, you know what? I've done enough with Femme Fatale. I've done all I can do. I'm bowing out. So she calls her agent and she says, I'm just ready to go. I'm just ready. Wait, actually,
I'm leaving.
Hold on. No. I have to make a correction. Hold on. Majestic PB and J Cat says there's no N in Jordison. So it's Joey Jordison. I'm sorry, I pronounced it with an N. My bad. Rest in peace, Joey Jordison. My bad. So anyway, so Lorraine Lewis calls her agent, representing Femme Fatale, says, look, I've done all I can with Femme Fatale. Love the band, love everyone in there. But, I'm pretty much done with music. I'm happy. I'm married. I'm just going to retire from music. So like, well, sorry to hear that, blah, blah, blah. So she calls it quits, breaks up. The next day, she gets a call from Roxy Petrucci, the drummer of Vixen. Says, hey, I want you to join Vixen. What are you talking about? Well, we just lost Janet, and I can't think of anyone that would be better than Vixen, than you and Vixen. And she's like, what are you talking about? I literally just retired yesterday. Is this a joke? She's like, you retired? You quit Femme Fatale? Yeah, I retired Femme Fatale yesterday. Really? Seriously? By a crazy coincidence, the day after, no shit, this is real. The day after she breaks apart and quits Femme Fatale, she basically gets the opportunity to be the front woman of Vixen. And she's like, well, I thought this was a joke, but let me think about it. And she thinks about it. She talks it over with her husband, and she basically presents that, let me see if I can hit all these notes, because, Janet was known for hitting some very high notes in Vixen that Lorraine's not used to hitting. So she trained a little bit and said, let me see if I can hit these notes. She can. And she called back Roxy and said, you know what? Every time I'm out, you keep pulling me back in. Okay, I'll front Vixen. And that's how she joined and is now the front woman of Vixen, who, by the way, is working on a new studio album, which I thought is really cool to hear, because Vixen is great. They're one of those 80s bands, all female, that, it's hard. It was even harder to get recognized as a female band in the 80s. Some women broke through. You had, Sandy Soraya, you had Lita Ford, obviously Pat Benatar, but she was a hit. But Vixen also was able to break through out of that stigma of, oh, it's just a girl band. No, man, they rock. They fucking kick ass. Vixen's great. So, here they are now with Lorraine Lewis, who's terrific.
All hair metal bands all members look the same from the back.
Which is what I think when I'm having anal. I'm worried. I'm like,
it's just when they turn around, it's a better surprise than
I hope this is a check, because I'm either grabbing a really big clit or I'm in trouble.
Oh my gosh. I saw Vixen. I saw them live, and yeah, they were great.
Who was fronting when you saw them, Johnny?
Well, I saw them in 1990, so it was
Janet.
Original. Yeah.
Janet Gardner. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jan Kundermund, I think at that time, was still probably their guitarist.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, that was.
Rest in peace, Jan.
When they were all over MTV, when they were like the biggest they'd ever been, was when I saw them, because they were opening for Kiss.
Yeah, and Bozique, no, the story is the story, and she's sticking to it. They did not hire her first. She basically walked away from Femme Fatale. I mean, she wasn't doing much with Femme Fatale. She got married. She wanted to basically retire. And, she knew Roxy well. And she's like, you know what? This is different.
Mm-hmm.
This will give me a different creative outlet than I had with Femme. I'll have a different outlook. It's more a high profile band that I always wanted. So, no, she wasn't hired first. She basically, Femme Fatale wasn't really doing anything. I don't even know if I guess they got together maybe for your occasional, metal cruise or something. But like, otherwise, like, Femme Fatale probably was like, oh, you're not doing Femme Fatale anymore. Okay, that's fine. Because realistically, I mean, we're not doing anything with you. And, that's okay. We have lives too. I mean, one guy's probably an accountant. Yeah, I play guitar in Femme Fatale and I'm an accountant.
Yeah, I remember them some years back on Facebook and MySpace, when they were active. But it's been a lot of years.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really done anything. When was the last time you saw Femme Fatale in concert or again, once in a blue moon festival? But Vixen can be a supporting act more than Femme Fatale can. So they're more active, and they will be as more of the metal bands go out on tours and, other concerts where they need supporting acts. I mean, look, Vixen just announced that they're touring with Whitesnake and Foreigner. When was the last time? I'm sorry, Europe just announced that they're going out with Whitesnake and Foreigner. When was the last time you saw Europe very active? But at least Europe has that name recognition because everyone knows the Final Countdown. So, and look, Lorraine is a great front woman. She's really, really got pipes. And Janet was good. Lorraine is a presence on stage. I think it's a really good mix. I'm looking forward to seeing them on the road. So that'll be interesting. But I thought the story was hilarious. And she's pushing it because she's like, I just want you to understand, this is not a joke. This is the way it legitimately happened. It sounds crazy, but I was out for a day out of the music scene. She didn't realize she was actually out for years. It's like Johnny Paul and I look at Popcorn the band and we're like, wow. yeah, we're still in Popcorn the band. And they're like, when was the last time you guys played? 1991.
Well, I mean,
we're still there.
Yeah, because I know the Femme Fatale. I mean, you see some of their MTV videos, and it's from like
the 80s.
The 80s.
Yeah.
So a lot of the pictures you see of her, the headshots, are literally from 35 years ago.
Yeah,
they're from a long time ago.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Fruitcake Tony says Lorraine can really sing too. Absolutely. Is she better than Janet? It's a personal decision. Personal thoughts, personal choice. Lorraine is Lorraine is Lorraine. I mean, she's really good on her own. She's always been a good frontman. I mean, look at Doro Pesh. There's another one that can just bring it, and she still does concerts. She did one during the pandemic, if you remember. She did a series of driving concerts. But Lorraine Lewis hasn't done much with Femme Fatale in a while. And when she joined Vixen, it was a nice step up.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was a neat story. Speaking of old bands that haven't been around in a while, the band Warrior recently had a reunion of sorts with varying members, but with the original vocalist Joe Floyd, who's absolutely spot on, just as good as he was back in the 80s. For those that don't know the band Warrior, you should. They did an album called Fighting for the Earth. That is your homework today. Go listen on YouTube to the full album of Warrior Fighting for the Earth. These guys were kicking around Southern California for years in the 80s. Basically the band that should have really been signed and really had a cult following, but never really broke out.
We know Joe.
Do we?
Joe Floyd. Well, I do because I had him on the show.
Okay.
He was on here like a year ago.
With us or with
no.
You? Okay.
It was before. It was might have been a Friday. No, okay. It was I don't know, whatever it was. But he
remember it as a Tuesday. But...
He runs a guitar company now, and I ran into them at it's called Electrophonic.
It's not called Floyd Rose.
No, Electrophonic Guitar Instruments. I ran into them at the NAMM show. This would have been a couple of years ago now, and demoed one of their guitars. There at NAMM, and then we had him and his partner on the show, and they gave us a tour of their facility on the show live.
That's great.
It was over a year ago. It was a while ago. Actually, I'll put a card right there if I remember. All right. He was in the band Warrior. That's right.
Yeah,
right.
He was the frontman for the band Warrior, the original frontman. Warrior in the 80s. You got to listen to Fighting for the Earth because it's such a good album. Listen to it start to finish. They have a video or two. Murph Murphy knows the band. He loves it. And recently, the reunion video they did, let's see, who was the lineup here? Let me pull it up. Hold on. Let's see.
Leave a thumbs up.
Okay, let's see. Basically, they're celebrating the life of bass player Rob Farr, who passed away again too young. They were playing in Trabuco Canyon, California. And this is the first time they performed live as a band since 2014. The lineup that was playing that night was Joe Floyd on front, AC Alexander of Lizzie Borden on guitar, Dave Ducey of Rhino Bucket on drums, Mike Davis, who you know from Halford, Lizzie Borden, Death Dealer, on bass, and then Sean Peck from also Death Dealer, the Three Tremors, Cage on vocals. And the rumor is that they may be preparing that lineup as the new lineup to tour and do additional new material in the studio in the near future. So they did a set recently. They did 7 songs, and you might be able to catch the whole thing on YouTube, but at least you could definitely see Fighting for the Earth, which I watched this morning as I was reading the story, and he sounds spot on. This is a vocalist that has not lost his chops. He's so good. And let's see. Just looking through.
Thank you, Sherman.
The most recent Warrior album, let's see, was Wars of Gods and Men. That was I think 2013 or 2014, which had Mark Storis of Crocus on vocals, not Joey. So now Joey's back as the original vocalist. And again, when you have a vocalist that's very defining of the sound of a band, the way that Joey is, you know, it's really inspiring you to check out the band live and get anticipated for new material.
If Perrymore McCarty's not in the band, it's not Warrior.
Well, you could say a bunch of people in there, not Warrior. What's his name? Who was the other guitarist?
Joe is the guy. Yeah, no, that's you're thinking.
Loudness. What's his name?
John Beale.
No, not John Beale. Someone else.
No, I know what you're saying, but to me, it's got to be Joe and Paramore. Mark Storace did a great job on that one record, but Perry is the guy. Paramore McCarty is the guy.
Perry is absolutely. I'm sorry. Joe Floyd is the guy for vocals. And look,
Joe's the guitar player.
No, I know. I'm saying Joe Floyd rather.
Yeah, no, you're thinking of Tommy Asakawa.
That's what I'm thinking as the guitar player that I meant.
Yeah. Joe Floyd and Tommy Asakawa. That's a great.
That
guitar.
Was the original. That was the original mix, and that's
Joe's the writer.
That's who I want.
Yeah, Joe's the writer.
Joe Floyd is the writer.
Yeah, Joe's the writer, but Perry's the voice. When I saw that Warrior, I saw that story about Warrior getting back together, and I'm like, yeah, it's not Warrior. I mean, Joe's involved, and that's great, but it's not Warrior. I mean, to me, it's Perry and again, Storace did a great job on that one record, but Paramore McCarty is the voice of Warrior. He's the guy.
Wait a second. Who was doing vocals? I'm sorry. Who was doing vocals? Sean Peck was on vocals. I'm sorry. I messed that up.
Yeah.
Sean Peck was on vocals. Right. I'm sorry. I messed that whole story up. Joe Floyd was on guitar.
Yes, he's the guy. He's the guy that is
okay.
The sort of driving force behind Warrior. They did 2 records. They did 2 records with Perry, and then Bobby Rock did vocals. Vocals on the 3rd record, the Code of Life record, and then Mark Storace. So even the guy that's singing for them now was never a guy. Was never one of the guys in Warrior.
But he sounds spot on like him. So that's where my mistake was.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
So I fucked this story
nice
definitively.
Job. Way to go, Eddie
Trunk. I've literally pulled a full Eddie Trunk.
It's not Thursday at 8. Come on.
Oh, wow.
That hurt.
Yes. And thank you, Sherman. Yes, because I fucked this whole story up.
It's funny because if you go through there was a guy, by the way, to answer the question,
this will be the outtakes reel, by the way.
By the way,
the outtakes reel.
Sherman Callahan, yes, Jimmy Volpe was part of Warrior early on. Jimmy was he was the second drummer in the band.
and I am mixing up
Awesome.
names left and right because Tommy Asakawa.
Asakawa.
I own 2 of the guy's guitars, and I can't say his goddamn name.
Yeah.
But he's amazing guitarist.
Yeah, Tommy Asakawa and Joe Floyd.
That's the guitarist I was thinking of.
Yeah, those are the 2 guys that are the, let's face it, when Warrior came out, they were a lot like
Underrated.
a lot like Armored Saint. They were just a straight ahead American metal band, and one of the 2 best in LA at the time. It was them and Armored Saint and everyone else. They had a style. It was just straight ahead. It wasn't quite power metal. It was just straight ahead American heavy metal, not unlike Armored Saint, and a very similar image too. Your Warrior, they had the swords and the fucking armor and all the stuff that came with it. And then Perry left to go do the Steve Stevens record, which he's great on. And then, and they brought in Bobby Rock to do that one record called The Code of Life, which is a very weird. By the way,
Bobby seems to get into everything. Do you notice?
Yes. Yeah,
he's brought it to. What was he? Was he also in Nelson as well? And Vinnie Vincent Invasion and.
All right, so here we'll go through the Warrior.
Can you see?
Bobby Rock is a drummer like Rudy Sarzo is a bass player. He just gets brought into every project.
So
there it is, Fighting for the Earth.
Fighting for the Earth. This is, and by the way, the most of the set from the band that got together calling themselves Warrior this past week was from this album.
And by the way, my mother right now is watching in utter disappointment. Oh, John, even I know how to pronounce Tommy's name. You fucked up. This show is terrible with you on it. You should just have Paul and Johnny do it.
So Fighting for the Earth is the original record. It's fantastic. It's the best one.
You all need to listen to it.
Yeah, and then they followed it up with this one here, which I can't even read the title, The War of Gods and Men.
That's the second one?
That's the second one. Yeah, that's the second one with Perry McCarty on it. And these are 2 great records. And then Perry leaves, and Bobby Rock does this one called The Code of Life. And again, it's a great record, but it's a different Warrior record. Cool if you don't consider the band being Warrior. If you just consider it a great metal record, you're in.
If you compare it to the first one, it's a different album.
And this is funny because Ancient Future is the one that Mark Storace from Crocus is on. All right.
And that also is good.
Yeah, it's great. And
really
I didn't.
Different.
What's funny is I didn't think Mark could sing like this because I'm so used to hearing him in Crocus.
Where he's raspier.
Yes, this is a metal record. In fact, the fun part is they've got that as the album cover, but on the back,
what is that?
It's the old logo. So it's sort of a redefining.
Is that 2013 or 14, Paul?
Is that a bug?
Remember.
This record,
it's like an alien, like an alien eye.
Yeah, it's an alien. This record, War of Gods and Men, was 2004. So this is actually, I take this back. This is the one. This is the one that has
a bug on the front.
Yes.
Which is the latest album? Is that the last one?
The latest. I have them all out of order.
We have this story.
Who's the singer again?
Yeah, we have this whole thing.
Can any of us do this goddamn story?
All right, I'm going to do this again.
You know what? You know what really sucks? Johnny never heard Warrior, and he absolutely knows more than both of us.
All right,
I had the guy on the show.
I have it right.
There's credit.
I have it right.
I jerked him off.
I have it right now. So this one is the first one, Fighting for the Earth. All right. The second one is Ancient Future, also Perry McCarty. That also has the old logo on it. All right. The third one, I got that right. That's the Bobby Rock record, Code of Life. This one is literally 18 years ago. Mark Storace was on The War of Gods and Men. And it's a redefinition of the band. I literally had all these records out of order, which, by the way, for me, that's a problem. That's an OCD issue. I'm like, oh my God, how did I screw that up?
That's better than me having the band members out of order. I have the guitarist singing vocals. I have the bass player as the roadie.
And as long as we're on the subject, we might as well mention another super underrated band from that era, Warrior Soul.
Sure, why not?
Sure, Warrior Soul, who had last decade Dead Century, Drugs God and the New Republic, Chill Pill, and Space Age Playboys. And this is another great band. This is, if Jane's Addiction were more of a metal band, they would be Warrior Soul.
Wow.
This is exactly what Eddie Trunk goes through every week, except Eddie gets paid more and has more exposure and better than Jesus.
And we didn't claim to know everybody in every band.
Yeah, that we don't. Well, Johnny has to do that. That's Johnny's.
Yeah,
that's Johnny's.
Johnny, do you have a picture with Tommy Asakala on there? Do you? No,
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I should have brought one of Tommy's guitars on as today's show and tell guitar, which is not today's show and tell guitar. Today's show and tell guitar clue is it has something to do with Rice Krispies. There you go. Rice Krispies, delicious Rice Krispies, soaked in Bang energy drink.
They hurt your teeth?
Hurt my teeth. What are my teeth made of? Marshmallows? It's Rice Krispies.
The generic Rice Krispies from Trader Joe's hurt your teeth.
I don't have that. Those are Trader Joe's Pebbles. There's Ned looking out the window thinking of a way out. I'm gonna go watch a show that actually knows what the fuck they're talking about.
He's watching something good.
By the way, I just looked up just for the fun of it. Warrior does have a Wikipedia entry. 12 different lineups that band has had.
Well, thank God I didn't do
12.
it. And out of all 12, I couldn't get one right.
12 lineups between 1985 and 2021, 4 albums.
Oh, wow.
They went from 1985 to 1998 between albums.
And the only change Popcorn the band has is JoJo. We've thrown him out and brought in Wilfred Brimley. That was the only change to the band.
David Crosby wants to join the band, but we keep telling him
I'm sure he does.
Yep.
I'd look great in that Peter Criss makeup.
So it's funny. This is the latest war. It says, in April of 2020, a posting on the Warrior Facebook page said, "Warrior fans, how about an EP with 4 new songs? Just seeing if there'd be some demand for this." Nope.
Johnny, you should put up a poll for that. How many of you would buy a new Warriors CD?
How many people answered that?
If Harry McCarty is on lead vocals, I'm in. Or if Storace wants to do another record, because I think they're both great.
Well, as the lineup was during this mini reunion concert, which I thought was very good. I thought it really sounded old school, just like the original.
You were there?
album. No, I was watching the video.
Did you pass by it as you were walking to the convention?
To the convention. I'm watching it on my phone.
It does look like somebody's high school band playing in a barbecue.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, it does. It has that.
It has that
my cousin's. It has that my cousin's band. Yeah.
It has that Van Halen in the backyard in 1976 feel.
Yeah. Hey, look, my cousin's band is playing at the gazebo at the park.
The gazebo club? No, the gazebo in our backyard.
Literal gazebo. Yeah. Yeah. It does look like somebody's bat mitzvah recital. Dude, we're playing a graduation. I went to this great graduation party the other day. Who played? Fucking Warrior, man.
Who was the frontman? We didn't have our regular guy, so we got Sean Peck.
What sucks about that? What sucks about it is
good. Though. It was really good.
And that's the thing. That's what sucks about this band. They are one of, as we've talked about this before, because there was so much going on. They were one of those bands that just got overlooked. Warrior is a lot less than Armored Saint, obviously, but a lot like, remember Malice?
Yes.
Remember the band Malice?
Yes, I do.
Same thing. Another band. There was another band called Trash. Same thing. Just never happened.
Speaking of trash, Paul, could you come over and take out my trash?
Were you in the band Warrior? Yes.
Yes. Let's see.
I was a yes. I did yes.
I went with a yes as well.
Yes. I'm dismissing the poll.
Bozique basically hits it right on the head. Warrior's about as famous as Johnny Paul Mancuda or any random person in the chat, for that matter. So Lenny Lou was probably in Warrior as well. I believe Joshua Britton was also in Warrior.
By the way, Hellstorm I know
Chris
you used
Bevan
to.
on
You
drum.
used to be Mr. Hellstorm. I guess that operation went well. But Hellstorm. Fun fact with Lillian Axe and Lizzie Borden.
I used to confuse them too.
I used to live down the street from Stevie Blaze in New Orleans. He lived like the next block over from me. I used to see him all the time walking my dog. Super nice guys. Lily and Axe are a fucking great band, and they should have been bigger. And one of my friends, a guy named Ron Cerrito, who's a record company guy, played guitar for Lizzie Borden for a while. So I have a connection to both of those bands. It's the weirdest thing in the world. A lot of my friends that used to be in some of these bands are now record executives, producers, like all these guys. They've moved on to do, like Gary Howe. For those of you that don't know, Gary Howe, who was in Heavy Bones with Frankie Banali. There you go. Gary obviously has done his solo thing for a while, but he makes his money. His job is producing music for Disneyland. So all of those rides that you go on at Disneyland and have those kick-ass soundtracks, that's all Gary Howe.
And some of the other guys in Warrior are operating those rides.
Yes.
They're like, all
those
right,
guys are
strapped in.
So that guy you see at the food court, the guy at the food court with the thing of Windex and the thing wiping down the tables.
He was the keyboardist.
That was the original drummer.
He was in Warrior, but he has a little button says "Have a Disney Day." Under that, it says "I was in Warrior."
Yes.
When you kick Mickey Mouse in the crotch, that was a member of the band.
So wrong. And John Norham's a lawyer. I mean, he's making real bank when he's not in docking. That's true.
Yeah, some of these guys have gone on and done. Look at Paul DeBartolo, who was the guitar player for Spread Eagle, who is one of my favorite bands of that time. Even though they just put out a great record a couple of years ago without Paul in the band, still a good record, just not as good as when Paul was there. He went and he did, I think, the music for the Jim Carroll movie, The Basketball Diaries, that Leonardo DiCaprio was in. He scored that movie. Look, Danny Elfman makes more money scoring movies than he ever did in Oingo Boingo.
And let's see, Heavy Bones, I believe, is playing with Spread Eagle. Speaking of which, Lenny Lou is in the chat, says, I like to play with my triangle.
Giggity.
Oh, I play triangle. Yes, in the band. Yes, in Warrior. She was the triangle player. Yes. Sorry.
Gary Howe is Black Salami, just so you know, Mike. Gary Howe is one of the nicest guys in the world. He's a super nice guy. Couldn't be a nicer guy.
Rena says, I saw a guy from Gary Howe's band in the McDonald's drive-thru.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's getting up in the world. I don't know. It's terrible.
No, Gary is doing just fine. He does. He's doing good. I like Gary. He's one of the nicest guys in the world. Looks like Gary Sharon. Has a very.
I'm sorry. Looks like look. Who? Do you have a reference of what Gary Sharon looks like?
Happy birthday, by the way, Gary.
Yeah, Gary Sharon just had a birthday.
I thought Johnny had a photo with Gary Sharon too.
No, I do have. I have photos with Gary Sharon.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have the. Yeah, I know.
I thought that was a Johnny Beane reference photo. I thought it was a Johnny Beane reference photo as well for that.
No, that's Nuno. Johnny does.
I know that. I know that photo. The Nuno and Paul photo.
Aha!
I mean, that's close enough. Isn't that Gary on the right with Nuno on the left?
That's called a shred sandwich.
That's called a giving head sandwich.
That's it. That's called you're the pivot and the circle jerk between two super talented guitar players.
That's you're the rotisserie chicken between those two spit poles.
You know how many nerds would kill for that selfie?
I know one.
You did.
There he is. Yeah. I want a photo with David Crosby.
Gary Sharon, Bozique. Gary Sharon was in Warrior too for a while. I'm not sure you knew that.
He was in incarnation number 8 of Warrior.
Oh, that's so funny.
But seriously, jokes aside, if you haven't listened to Fighting for the Earth, put it on YouTube, play the whole album, and just enjoy the shit out of it. Because that is a really, really great underrated 80s album.
Should have been a massive band.
Really should have. Instead, they wound up opening for guys like Popcorn the Band. It's terrible. Let's wish a happy birthday, by the way, to audience member Keith Campbell.
No.
Before I forget. No. All right.
Keith.
I guess we won't.
Keith.
Johnny's like, it depends what he pays in the super chat.
Oh, yeah. If Keith wants to change the colors of my light to the birthday cake.
That'd be funny if Johnny has like a birthday cake and he'll light a candle for every $1 into the super chat. I don't know. I got about 50 candles ready. I could light 5. I could light 10. I could light 50. That's great.
Happy birthday, Keith.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Dan of New Jersey wants to know, was Paul Gilbert on his knees in that photo?
Yeah.
A hamwich. Nice. Thank you, Keith Campbell. Keith Campbell's like, I don't have the money, but thank you for saying it anyway. Let's see. Let's just give a shout out to my mother, and thank you everyone for asking about my mother's health. My mother actually this week called me with another doozy. She calls me up.
No, it's mama talk.
Oh, no. Now it's time for Mom Cuda.
It's Mom Cuda talk. Mom Cuda talk. Mom Cuda talk.
I don't like Mom Cuda, but she's sexy.
Mama Mancuda calls me up and she's in a panic. She's like, we have a really big problem now. I said, what problem do we have? What's wrong?
Does she call you Jonathan?
No, she's like, John. J-A-W-N. John.
Yeah. John.
Yeah. So I said, Mom, what's the problem now? She's like, well, first of all, Johnny Beane's lights got changed by false flag. So shout out. Thank you.
And Paul doesn't want to turn his own lights on. So he's sitting in the dark.
And I'm sitting on a flashlight. Thank you, false flag. And shout out to his baby boy Sagan of 8 months today. Also a big fan of the show.
Yes.
That's why we keep it totally clean.
Hi, Ellie.
Anyway, yeah. Hi, Ellie. So Mom calls me up and she's like, we have a really big problem, John. I said, what? She's like, there's deer in the yard. I said, what?
That's a
there's
problem?
Deer in the yard. I said, that's a beautiful thing, Mom. Take photos, enjoy that. That's beautiful. That's nature. No, because they're eating my big bush. I said, I'm sorry.
Gross.
They're what? They're
Gross.
eating my big bush.
Gross.
I'm sorry.
Will you get her to leave you a message of that so we can use that as an audio?
Yeah, I really want that as my new ringtone. They're eating my big bush. They're eating my big bush. They're eating my big bush. Oh, that's my mother. Right now, her ringtone is, oh, I'm so horny. Oh, Mom. I love picking it up in the supermarket after I let it ring a few times. What do you mean, ew? You like my mother? Anyway, so I said, Mom, what are you worried about? Fuck the bush. Just watch and enjoy the deer. It's like one of life's simple pleasures you can enjoy. It's relaxing. They're pretty. She goes, well, I'm really worried the neighbors will think I brought them here and call the town and report me.
How did your mother importing deer illegally now?
Yeah. Could you imagine, hey, is this the town? Yes. My neighbor is smuggling deer into her yard.
I knew it was old lady Mancuda.
My car got ruined by a deer. Must be one of Mancuda's deers. Check for branding. There's like a brand of Mama Mancuda's face on the deer. She doesn't brand it like the cattle, the star.
I was just gonna say the
Paul
city
Stanley star.
Then the city shows up. No, it's a Star David.
Yeah, it's Star David. These are kosher deer.
Yeah, that's the town shows up and your mom goes on the front yard. Quick, come in here under the floorboards. I've got a place for you. The dearie of Mama Mancuda. The dearie of Anne Frank.
Mom's got a list. She's like a list. Nah, Rudolph, Dancer, more, Prancer. We've got to write Prancer. Vixen.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for the deer.
That was brilliant, man. Yeah. That was brilliant.
It's so wrong.
Wow, the Jewish deer and the towns after them. I don't know what to do. Oh, jeez. And then
we have come for the deer. We understand you are hiding a deer in the floorboards.
We here dear.
And-
All of a sudden,
And
you see on
I
the
imagine-
floorboards this little red light shining. Rudolph, no! Rudolph, no!
I just have pictures of Christoph Waltz at your front door, like in Inglorious Bastards. So, is there something we should know?
So, Mrs. Well, it's Miss now. Yes, you're very charming and single. Miss Mancuta, how many?
I'm a widow, you know. Available.
You say the deer went down the street. So, how many points was the buck? It was 3. I'm sorry, how many?
6.
Yeah, Johnny's ruining the joke because he keeps laying over. There we go. 3, you say? 3 deer? I see. You don't mind if we have a look around? What you cooking? It smells wonderful. It's not venison. Oh, geez. And then I get a call the next day. She says the exterminator came. I'm thinking, what, you're chasing the deer out? She's like, no, the woodpecker's back. And they line the whole side of the house with streamers. And it's like a disco here. There's all these foil streamers hanging off the house. And that's supposed to chase them away. He says it blinds them. And then an hour later, I just hear, what's that?
I'll be back. I got a dog thing.
Yeah, so the woodpecker's back and attacking my mom's house. We got woodpeckers, we got deer. It's a whole Yogi's Ark over there. They've teamed up. The woodpeckers are now riding in on the deer. Stop the woodpecker, stop the woodpecker. It seems every day my mom has some wildlife attacking the house. Next week, she'll be carried off by squirrels. I'll get a ransom call. If you want your mother back. Yeah, it's great. So much love to you, Mom. Much love to you. I can't wait to see the next tragedy that happens at the house.
Mm-hmm. That happens here because we have deer all over this place.
Well, we should call my mom over. What do you do about them?
Well, what they do is, you have to keep all your plants and everything like caged up so they can't get to it.
See, my mom wants her plants. She has these weeds, these 4-foot weeds coming out of the lawn. That's another problem with the fucking weeds. She's got like nature attacking her, right? And the deer eat the weeds. I'm like, Mom, let the deer invite more deer over. Have a deer bridge party. Start serving drinks to the deer. I'd start pouring Hennessy. What are you talking about, Mom? Let the deer there. They're eating the bushes that are you're complaining about.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you can actually do, and this is serious. You can actually order goats. And,
no.
And they bring a whole herd of goats over and just let them loose in the yard, and they just eat everything.
Yeah, these goats. First of all, the yard's not fenced, so these goats would overrun the neighborhood. It would eat everyone's everything. Believe me, this would be a nightmare on top of a nightmare. And as it is, she's already worried about a family of deer. Poor family of deer is just trying to walk through the yard, and she's already calling animal control.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! By the way, if anyone is on Long Island and does lawn care, please let me know. If you're a fan of this show and you do land clearing, lawn mowing and weed whacking, all that shit. Yeah, if you're a goat and you're watching the show, and you live in the Suffolk County of Long Island, let me know. Send me a private message on Facebook because I could absolutely if anyone wants to do Mama Mancuda a favor, I'm getting tired of these phone calls of these weeds. So just let me know if you're in gardening and lawn care and land cleaning, or you're just ambitious and have weed whacking and stuff. Let me know.
They're called landscapers.
Yeah, landscapers. If you're a landscaper and you're Hal Face says, I'm a shepherd. I'll bring you over a whole thing of goats.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know.
You see that all the time. Out here, you drive down the freeway, and on the sides of the freeway, you see just like herds of goats. You know,
Yeah,
just clearing everything out.
There's not a day goes by that someone is not complaining about the landscaping situation on my parents' house property. So yeah, please. This Hellstorm says this is like the lawn care episode of The Sopranos. Yeah, if anyone wants to do a favor, contact me on Facebook. Send me a private message under Jonathan Mancuda. I'd love a group of fans to go in metal t-shirts and take care of mom's nightmarish bush problems. There's always a problem with my bush. Yeah, tell me about it. And yeah, Vim 69. Yeah, the last year was the exact same problem with the city complaining about mom's bush problem. Yeah, next Keith Campbell says, what's next? A family of ducks. They're walking across the driveway. They're quacking. Oh, they're quacking. Ah, they keep me up at night. They're quacking. Ow. Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway, so my mom's bush needs trimming. So thank you, everybody. Let's see. What else we got on the list? We got just a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today. Let's see. What should we talk about? Oh, I thought this was I'll wait for Paulie to come back for that one because this one kind of belongs. Let's see. Here's some good news for you Exodus fans. Exodus drummer Tom Hunting is cancer-free. And this is great news, obviously, because Tom has been battling stomach cancer and recently went public with the announcement that he is now cancer-free. And God bless him, another cancer survivor. See, it does all work out. And I'm glad to hear that. So if anyone from the Exodus camp is watching, cheers from us. We're happy to hear that. Let's see. Working on in the studio. Let's go down the line. Dream Theater has a big announcement tomorrow. They're talking tomorrow. And yes, Renus, fuck cancer. And by the way, I wear pink for breast cancer awareness, but I don't have to wait till October to tell you. Breast cancer awareness, it's no joke. Get a mammogram or tell someone you love to get a mammogram. There you go. Dream Theater has a big announcement tomorrow. They are announcing the details of the new album they have coming out in the fall tomorrow on their website. Go to Dream Theater's website. This is their 15th album. I'll tell you, I have heard a lot of quiet industry buzz about this new Dream Theater album. I've heard from little insiders and back rooms that it is going to be spectacular. And that says a lot because Dream Theater is one of those bands that consistently comes out with really good albums. I mean, they get, really good and better and better. They're really good, but I've heard such good things about this new album coming out, and they have a big announcement tomorrow. They're going to hype it up. It's a big deal, and they're going to, let's see. So tomorrow, details revealed July 28th, if you're watching this in the rerun. I'm very excited about it. I like Dream Theater. I've always liked them. I've liked them since the early days. Let's see. Fernando Riley says, this is in honor of Mammoth's first show tonight. Hope it goes well. And I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is because he's got this down.
Yeah, Caleb is actually keeping us. Right, Paul?
Is Caleb there tonight?
No, he's not. But we have a group
he's
chat.
definitely keeping pictures, though.
And he's sending us like all the pictures from that.
So was he backstage and stuff, or?
I'm not surprised that he's not. Fernando, thank you so much, man. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Fernando. And yeah, we do, of course, wish Wolfgang well. We love him.
Yeah. Yeah. They've got their first show tonight in Kansas.
I remember that band. Didn't the singer used to be in Warrior?
What time is it? It's almost 7, 8, 9. So they're probably on stage now, actually, because it's 2 hours later.
So if you don't have tickets, hopefully you're watching our show. Or hopefully if you're at the show, you're on your phone like, yeah, no, good show. Johnny Beane talking guitars and 80s metal. That's Mancuda. That's Paul. Blue Rhino.
Leave a thumbs up.
Ned. Yeah.
Leave a thumbs up for Mammoth. Yes.
Yeah, smash that like button in honor of Wolfgang. We appreciate that. So let's move on. I wanted to save this story to do with Paulie. D. Snyder brings up a really good point in an interview. He starts talking about David Ellefson, and he says, look, we're all human. But those of us in the entertainment industry, whether we're an artist, whether we're a musician, whether we're an actor, a comedian, a painter, we get into this entertainment business.
Bass player.
Of all sorts of things, or bass player, because we are flawed people. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone's human, but entertainers are extra flawed. We have extra problems. We have extra mental issues. We have extra social issues. We have all sorts of problems. And that's why we get in and become an artist or a musician or an actor or a comedian or whatever we do, because we need an outlet to let go of all our craziness, creativity, our manic, all of these human flaws that we have more than any others. And David Ellefson, just like everyone else masturbates, here's a guy that also masturbates. And he's an artist, and he has a creative outlet. And hey, we've all done stuff, but the fact is, you look at, when I was talking to the Senate, when I was being questioned by the Senate in the 80s about, the vulgarity of metal music. And you have Tipper Gore on my ass, and she's talking to me like I'm a creature of the night, like I'm some scumbag. I'm the worst creature the devil ever came up with. And yet here I am, married with a nice family. None of my kids have ever been arrested. I guess they, were good at dodging bullets. And meanwhile, the Gores, Tipper's divorced, and her kid got arrested for possession. So who's actually the flawed person? The point he made, though, is David Ellefson got caught jerking off, and this is something we all do. You can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. But artists, more than any others, are extra flawed. We go and we do crazy things. We make bigger mistakes. And that's why we become artists. That's why we're an actor, we're a musician, we're a comedian, we're a painter. So I thought that was a really interesting insight that, this is why we do what we do in the arts, of whatever type of arts you are, because we are extra flawed, mentally, socially, whatever. And I'm curious to hear your guys' perspective on that, because I agree with it.
Well, I mean,
have more flaws than anyone.
You've heard me say this multiple times. Everybody that does this for a living is socially awkward. Anybody that does radio, television, acting, music, if you work in the performing arts, you've got some sort of social disorder, whether you had a horrible childhood.
Thank you, Bang Energy.
Yeah, whether you had a horrible childhood or bad relationships or whatever it is, there's that need, that craving for attention from afar with a lack of intimacy. D. Snyder he's absolutely 100% on point with that. And yes, his point of, everybody checks, everybody cranks one out. By the way, masturbation is considered a normal human behavior.
I'm doing it right now while I'm off screen, just so you people know.
Right. So there's that whole idea. The only thing that David Ellefson did wrong was that, the guy's married. He didn't cheat on his wife, but it certainly was, on the scale of bad things, it's down the lower end of it. I mean, it's a terrible thing to do, but I don't know that what he did was that much different than, cranking one out to porn online. I mean, it was a live human being.
Or animal videos.
Right. Yeah. Or, so the point being, two consenting adults. One guy is in a relationship. It's an emotional, it's an emotional affair, I guess. But he didn't cheat on her, and it's between him and his wife and his kids. But Dee is absolutely right on target there. Everybody that does this for a living, and it's not a secret. They all have intimacy issues. There's a reason why Hollywood marriages and rock and roll marriages don't work. Most of them don't work, and it's because I don't want to say narcissists, but certainly people who are craving attention. When they get attention from somebody, they start looking for it from somebody else. And so, I think it's great though. Dee brings up a very good point. A lot of the guys that people think are scumbags, Dee Snider, for example. Yeah, a lot of times people think they're scumbags.
Michael Smith?
He's been with.
Although I'm thinking of Michael Smith as I rub one out.
He's been with his wife, Suzette, since they were in high school. My partner, Mark, that I do the morning show with here in Phoenix, is very good friends with the Snider family. Mark Snider, who is Dee's brother, and my partner, Mark, my on-air partner, Mark, they are like this, really good friends. We've had Mark on the show. Dee has always been a family man. He's always been straight ahead. He's not a drinker. He's not a smoker.
And he's smart as a whip.
Well educated. His kids are well behaved and well educated. Everybody in that family is the nuclear family. They are as normal, again, like Gene Simmons and Shannon Tweed and their kids. People think of Gene Simmons as being a scumbag, but he actually has a good set of family values, no pun intended, but a sense of family values, and his kids were brought up right and they know right from wrong. Same thing with Dee and Suzette and his family. The funny part of that entire conversation is the fact that Al and Tipper Gore are divorced. And that they're shitbags. And that they have all the dysfunction. I have found that those who stand on the highest moral high ground tend to have the longest fall. You sit there and you start to judge other people because of their hair and the music they listen to and tattoos and piercings and whatever other proclivities that they
and their pink scarf and pink beanies.
And whatever it is that they're doing that might be out of what you consider the norm, and yet they're not hurting anybody, they're not robbing anybody, they're not cheating anybody. They just don't fit into your perception of what normal is. Meanwhile, the normal people are on their fourth wife and their seventh bankruptcy, and continue to get out of court settlements for mistresses and affairs and embezzlement and crime and all of these other things. Yet everybody likes to hold them up as being these paragons of morality when they're not. It's the scumbags that are the most moral, because you know what you're getting. It's honest. It's an honesty thing. At least with Lemmy, you knew what you were getting with Lemmy. You knew you were getting a guy who drinks and smokes and does drugs and philanders and does his thing. He wasn't hiding. As shitty as I think Marilyn Manson is as a human being, you know what you're getting with Marilyn Manson. Most of the guys that you run into, with the exception of Nick Catanese, who we didn't know was a fucking pedophile, and he's a scumbag. But most of these guys, when you see them, you're kind of like, you know what you're getting. You know when you walked into it, as opposed to these snakes in suits that stand in front of a television camera and talk about how morally just they are.
Holier than now.
And so God love Dee Snider for pointing out that hypocrisy. And yeah, it sucks that David Ellefson made a horrible mistake. He made a mistake. It could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. He did something that lonely people do when they're on the road.
Or in front of the TV as we're shooting the Johnny Beane show.
Sure.
When I'm not on camera, just saying.
So at least, admitting it though is the first thing. As a performer, as a member of the entertainment industry, admitting it is the first thing. The first thing you must admit to yourself when you decide to get into music, radio, television, whatever it is you're going to do, comedy, stand-up theater, you have to admit, bass playing, you have to admit
where you're not getting laid.
You have to admit that you are socially awkward, that there's something missing from your world that you're trying to find.
Mhm.
I mean, look, I know when I walk into a room like comic conventions or whatever, and I'm 6'4", wearing a hot pink beanie, a hot pink scarf, and I come in like a fucking fart of fresh air. And I know I'm walking in, beaming attention, like, look at me. That's my issue. I like attention too much. I'm definitely a great example of I'm not your socially average guy. And I'm sure you two as well have different things. Johnny off air is quieter. Paulie off air, I don't know. I mean, pick your favorite flaw, whatever. But we all in these in these entertainment businesses have some sort of crazy social awkwardness that, whether it's filling a need or, I didn't love you, John. I know, Mom, but don't talk about that right now. Whatever it is, I mean, that is part of the business. And you have to kind of know that with everyone you work with in the business or meet from the business. They're not like your average Joe on the streets. There's a reason we do crazy, stupid shit like this, because we're fucked. We're fucked up in some way, shape, or form. We're fucked up.
And I think, and then, look, there's exceptions to every rule. There are certainly hippie scumbags, and there are certainly absolutely morally just people. But you got to be very careful when you're throwing stones from inside your glass house. Like if you're going to talk some shit about other people, that's one of the things that I have a problem with Mustaine. Turning his back on Ellefson, whose transgression is minor in the big scheme of things, because Dave Mustaine's house isn't clean either. And I think that if you're going to sit there and you're going to cast judgment and you're going to try and point the accusing finger at somebody, you better make sure that your house is clean and that you have your shit together, because that's a problem. Because when it comes around and people realize what a piece of garbage you might be, it's a big crow to eat. You better be careful about that, which is why you should always be honest. Be honest with being a jerk. Be honest with being who you are, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Never lie about who you are, and never be ashamed of who you are. If you're a jerk, be an honest jerk. Sometimes I'm a jerk. I get it. I'm a jerk, but I try not to be a jerk to anybody that isn't deserving. Like if I'm going to rip into somebody, I think the target has to be deserving. I'm not going to give somebody a break that is an asshole. I don't give Vince Neil a break. Vince Neil killed a fucking guy, and he got away with it. And karma has paid him back in several different ways. So I have no empathy for Vince Neil. Certain David Coverdale, I'm not a fan of him as a human being because he's a jerk. Do I wish horrible shit on him? No. But if you're going to ridicule somebody or you're going to show aggression towards somebody or badmouth somebody, be careful. Be careful and make sure that you have your ducks in a row, because if it comes around and they get the opportunity, you have no place to point.
I don't even look at it a matter of, being a jerk or being a hypocrite. I'm looking more at just the idea that, just like Bozique said, I'm a very reclusive guy. He says, okay, I'm the opposite. I'm an extrovert. I'm bouncing around happy and love social scenes. I love people. I love, whatever. That is a flaw too, because I just love being over social sometimes. And it's just a matter. We all have our things, whether you're battling depression, whether you're, over analytic, whether you're, you just like dressing weird. I mean, hey, this isn't the norm for most people, but this is what I work with. It's okay to be different and just expect someone in that position of a band member or an entertainer to be different in ways. And you gotta just live with it and accept it and accept them for who they are, because that's why they got into the fucking business.
Yep, that's really what it is. The performing arts are about embracing and acceptance from strangers. We all have intimacy issues. One of the great things about what I do every day is when we're on the radio, There are millions of people in the audience. There are hundreds of thousands listening at any given time, but I never have to deal with any of them. You know, the phone, you pick up the phone, you're talking, you email back and forth and stuff, but you never see them face to face. So there's no intimacy, there's no vulnerability. That's the same thing with actors. Actors go out and they do their scenes. And as you know, when you're on the set, it's all about making sure everybody is comfortable. It's not about them being great actors. The great acting part comes out, but it's let's make sure everybody is comfortable and they don't get upset. And then once it's laid to film, it's done and it's over with. And then their connection to it. You hear about a lot of actors who never watch the finished product because they don't want to know. They don't want to know what people think about it until it becomes great. And then when it becomes great and people embrace their stuff, very few of those actors are really social animals. Most of them are loud and performing when they're in front of the camera, but when they get off camera, very quiet, very reserved, very alone. They sit home and they read their books. A lot of them are not party animals. You think they are, but they're not. They're just like being on a tour bus. Bands you think are wild or the most wild, when they get on the tour bus and the door bus closes and they pull out of the parking lot, it becomes like a library in their buses. But the act is the act. They want you to buy the sizzle.
No, look, on the air, Chris Holmes is chugging a whole bottle of vodka, and talking about pussy and fuck and kill and blood and all that. And then he gets home and he's like, I think I want a boiled egg. Yeah. And I'm going to watch Masterpiece Theater. A boiled egg in Masterpiece Theater. That's a nice night. That
does sound nice.
It does sound nice, right? That's what I'm going to do after I'm off the air.
Where are you guys watching this? You guys could be boiling eggs watching
Masterpiece Theater rather than or Dave Elvson watching Masturbate Theater. But all right,
and so that brings us
full
to
circle. Full circle. That's terrible. That's horrible.
Hey, he's a hero to bass players everywhere.
Whatever. I mean, it's much ado about nothing. It's between him, his wife, and his family.
Yeah, I mean the big point of the story that it got brought up to D because of Dave Ellefson, and he wanted to just say, "Hey, we all jerk off," but he really wanted to emphasize the point that we look up to people in the entertainment business as heroes, as perfect, as whatever, and they're flawed like everyone else, but more so. That's his whole point. It's like everyone's got flaws. We have more flaws than everybody. So there you go. Thank you, Fernando Riley.
Ace doesn't have any flaws. He's a good boy.
There's no flaws with good boys.
Good boy.
Or fleas.
He's a
fleas.
Good boy.
So I got a great story. I hate talking about this tool because I'm not a fan of him, but Chris Jericho just told a great story during an interview. So I've got to repeat this. Chris Jericho is talking about his Beatles moments with Paul McCartney. Now you think, oh my God, that's like having a condom on your ice cream sundae, right? Chris Jericho wound up making friends with someone at Rolling Stone. And someone was her son was a fan of wrestling. Chris Jericho agreed to meet the kid. And ever since then, he's been able to, get a couple of favors from this woman working at Rolling Stone magazine. So one of the favors says, hey, I do something with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Would you like to go to one of the inductions? So he's like, oh, wow. Yeah. Because Kiss was getting inducted that year. So he says, hey, can you get me in? Me and my cousin, can you get me in to watch Kiss? And she says, yeah, I can make that happen. So she gets him a pass to watch Kiss. Now, for those that don't know the setup of inductions at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they're all private red carpet events, but most people in that hall are paying like $10,000 a seat to sit at those tables.
You have to buy a table. Yeah.
Yeah. You're sitting at those
tables. It's like $100,000 a table.
It's like $10,000 a person, something like that, or, $100,000 a table, whatever it is. But he's not getting that. He's getting a favor. So he's standing in the back room. Now, whenever someone's inducted, usually they have them playing or, an act performance or something going on that people stand up And you can make your way through that crowd at that moment to the front of the room without being noticed that, hey, you're not sitting at your table. So he does that, and he watches Kiss inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and blah, blah, blah. So he starts asking for this favor every year from this woman. He said, hey, can I get in this year's inductees? Blah, 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 blah. So one year, Ringo Starr is the inductee. And he says, hey, can you get me and my cousin a thing for Ringo? So he gets the pass for Ringo Starr. Same game plan. He's walking around the back until the musical act starts. And this year it was Green Day. So they're doing this song. Everyone's, standing up and clapping and mingling and whatnot. Chris and his cousin do the little snake walk into the front of the room. They're up at the stage. He says, so I see Paul McCartney there. And Paul McCartney is there, and Yoko Ono's there, and Ringo's there, and he stands right behind him. And he's like, oh, man, look at the Beatles. And he's like, Paul has an energy behind him, and, it's just infectious. He's like, oh, my God, I want to be friends with this guy. Just want to be friends with this guy. And, Paul's just watching the show and, whatever. So the show has, a break between songs, and he taps Paul on the shoulder, and he's like, oh, wasn't that great the way they sang that? And he's like, oh, yeah, it was wonderful, wonderful performance. And he's like, yeah, that was great. They're the best. Oh, they're very good. So he's like, that wasn't enough for him. So he's sitting there and he's kind of stalking behind Paul McCartney, and he wants to strike up more conversation. And Paul's just enjoying the show. His bandmate's getting inducted, and it's a big deal. He doesn't want to talk to Chris Jericho. He doesn't even know who he is. So basically, the after party happens. There's an after party there, and Chris is there. And, obviously everyone wants to talk a piece of Paul, and Paul has a bodyguard with him, to keep riffraff away, I mean, sure, you could say hi or something, but they don't want anyone really getting close to Paul. It's not like a friend of his or something. So Chris Jericho kind of, again, worms his way through the crowd at the after party, and he pretends he's friends with people. He's like, oh, there's Dave Grohl. Hey, Dave. Hey. And Dave is kind of looking like, who's that? And then you got, Kid Rock. Hey, Kid, what's happening? Who's that? So Chris winds up like waiting by Paul's table, like ready to pounce on him, and Paul gets up and he's going to get some cheese from the buffet table, and the bodyguard's walking in front of him, kind of keeping Paul safe. So here's this narrow spot against the wall between the tables, and they decide to take Paul that way. The bodyguard's walking, and then Paul's walking toward the cheese table, and then Chris kind of runs up behind Paul, and he's like shadowing him behind him. Right? Like a crazy stalker, like a fanboy, right? And he goes behind him, and the bodyguard's in front, and there's Paul, and there's Chris Jericho shadowing behind him. Paul doesn't even realize he's behind him. And he goes to Paul, he's like, with your bodyguard's ahead of us, I guess he'll protect you over there. But don't worry, Paul. If there's ninjas, I got your back. Because I know karate, and there's ninjas that try to attack you from the back. I got this. He's like, oh, right, ninjas. Yes, good thing. Yeah, high five. Yes, high five. And Paul then goes gets his cheese. And a little later on, there's Paul enjoying his meal, or trying to enjoy his meal, and the bodyguard's there, and Jericho starts going up to him, and he's like, hey, how you doing, man? There's a lot of people around. I see there's a lot of people around, and if the bodyguard can't keep these fans from you, I could probably help with that. I could probably chase these people away and, have them stop bothering you during your meal. And Paul looks up from his plate, and he's like, who are you? Are you a cameraman? Are you a security man? Who are you? And what are you worried about? I can handle myself. I don't mind people coming up to me. And if they come up to me, I just say hello. What does this have to do with you? And what do you want? What do you want? And he's like, I'm the ninja guy. Yes, right. Ninjas, go away. And he basically just became his number one stalker that Paul was annoyed by that night, and he walked away thinking, I had an interaction with Paul McCartney. great, right? Paul is probably having nightmares about Chris Jericho right now.
Yeah, that is really weird.
And David Shea Gomery says Jericho has talked about the story before and admitted he was stupid in doing this. I admit he was stupid in doing this too. What sort of nut job is bothering Paul McCartney? The guy's trying to eat. He's stalking him like a little girl. He's like running after him. He's sneaking behind him. He's walking up, interrupting the guy's dinner. It's like, dude, you're in the industry. Leave the guy alone. If you want to say hi like everyone else. But don't fucking stalk the poor guy. It's like, why do you think he has that bodyguard? It's for you. It's for you.
For him.
Jesus, he probably has two now. I want someone running behind me in case some nut job named Chris dressed up as a ninja comes up behind me.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, obviously, I guess he's a huge Beatles fan to be doing that.
Everyone is. He's a legend. Paul McCartney's a legend. But you're at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The guy's just trying to fucking celebrate his bandmate's big day. It's just trying to enjoy a meal. He's got a bodyguard, for fuck's sake, in a private party. That just shows he's like, I just want to be, left alone. You want to say hi? That's fine. But he's like a total fanboy, like a little kid running up to Stan Lee, except Stan was accepting of that because he's a little kid. Chris Jericho isn't a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
dude,
that's crazy.
Dude, get a grip, man. I like the Beatles too. Everyone does. Lenny Lou says this would have made a great SNL skit. No shit. Holy fuck. Holy stalker, Batman. Even Chris Jericho wants to be Batman before Robin.
He gets to be.
He gets to be. And he's stalking Paul McCartney. Is that crazy, Paulie?
Yeah.
Poor Paul McCartney is having nightmares about Chris Jericho. And meanwhile, Kid Rock and David Grohl is still wondering, who was that guy? Who was that guy that was up Paul McCartney? And Paul McCartney's looking behind him. He's like, if you were any closer, you'd be my dingleberry.
So you got Chris Jericho stalking McCartney, and then you have Ringo behind Jericho, hoping he recognizes him.
And Yoko Ono's, even Yoko Ono is like beyond that. That's insane. It's just insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently they didn't. I don't think they got a picture together because I didn't see anything.
They did not get a photo together. He did not get a photo together. But think about that. Think about that. You're Paul McCartney, and now you have like someone like Chris Jericho like fanboying behind you. Are you like calling in extra security at your house, worried this guy's gonna try to vault the wall and like take nude photos of you in your window or something?
Ah, yuck.
Everybody fanboys Paul McCartney.
To a level, though, you don't stalk the poor guy.
It's you get one shot. What are the chances he's going to meet him again?
Meeting him's one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone wanted to, say hello and, nice to meet you, maybe get a photo. But this guy's like following him to the cheese table behind his bodyguard.
That's because Chris Jericho's a nerd.
I think he's more than that.
Well, all right. So I imagine you're getting ready to do the guitar. I got to run. I got a dog situation I got to handle.
It is indeed time for show and tell
Good night,
guitar.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul. You're the greatest, brother.
Good. I'll catch up with you guys as soon as I can.
All right, bro.
Later.
Nighty night. The great Neanderthal, everybody.
Yeah, don't follow him.
Don't masturbate outside his yard either. Ace and Lemmy will bite your Schwanson off. Anyway, it is time for show and tell guitar. Today's show and tell guitar, I gave you the clue. It has something to do with Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies go snatch, cackle, and crotch. Oh, no, those aren't Rice Krispies. That's a porn I was watching. Rice Krispies, snap, crackle, and pop. That was it, Rice Krispies. Crackle being the operative word. So There you go.
Oh.
There it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, your show and tell guitar today. John. Look at that thing.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Let's see. I got to open the video. Let's see. Here we are. Got it.
Thumbnail. Okay. This is a BC Rich Gunslinger. You guys know I have a ton of these. These are some of my favorite 80s shredders to play. These are fun and awesome. This one in hot as a pistol, blood red crackle. Look at that. Crackle finishes are such a distinct 80s thing. I mean, already you're thinking, you know, a lot of things about 80s shredders, you know, I love already. Okay. You know, maple neck, reverse headstock, very fast, dirty maple neck. Look how dirty that is, because you know you don't clean maple because it gets better with age. It becomes slicker with the oils of your fingers. Look at that beautiful blade, reverse headstock, total 80s shred. And of course, one pickup, this one a DiMarzio Super Distortion with a licensed Floyd Rose, and one volume, because that's all you fucking need. That's all you need. That's all you need to rock, man. These things were very popular with the guys from Warrant, with CC DeVille, with Tracy Guns. A lot of the 80s shredders love these. Tony McAlpine. But the thing about Crackle is Crackle very distinctly 80s. Really, really love it. Kind of like a lava finish. And this goes all the way around, which I love too. I mean, when you think Crackle finish, you think 80s. And they brought them back so big time lately. You know, makers like Jackson and Charvel, they're making Crackles again because everyone loves recapturing that flavor of the 80s, that fun time. And what says 80s more than Crackle, rather. I'm sorry. Crackle, yes. So this particular one, for those that don't know how Crackle finish comes about, because you see some with small crackle, some with really large crackle, most with a nice medium crackle like this one, which came out beautifully, perfectly even in black and red. Two really cool looking 80s colors together. Basically what they do is they put on a coat of black, a special paint of black on there, and a coat of red, and the black coating shrinks like cold water to my dick. It shrinks drastically, which also was all around, specifically in the 80s. My dick everywhere. Everywhere there was a rock guitar, you saw my dick. So pretty much when it shrinks, it creates that crackle kind of finish over the other color, and you wind up with a crackle. Now, you could do this a couple of ways. This particular one is red. A lot of people used to do, especially guys like Dan Lawrence at BC Rich, or guys like over at Jackson, they would do like rainbow crackles and do yellow here, black here, red, blue, orange, green, and then spray it up black and add some heat, and then it would shrink and crackle. And you'd have all this beautiful rainbow crackle or different patterns and colors and stuff. Particularly Tony McAlpine had a 3-color crackle gunslinger that, or actually an ST3 that was very popular and well known. And now that color is known as McAlpine crackle. It's green, blue, and purple with black over it. And then the black shrinks and you have those 3 colors, green, blue, and purple. That's known as McAlpine crackle, named after the great Tony McAlpine. So really, something like this really deserves a finish like Crackle because it's a distinctly 80s guitar. It's really light, alder body. I've talked about Gunslingers so many times before. That great access cutaway on the heel to give you a little bit better hand access. See that little carve in there to let you get up in those upper frets. A little less grab. Nice deep cut on the horns. I mean, these are just so great. They're just so fast. I I just love these. I get giddy over these things. But when you get a cool finish like this, not just your average white, black, blue, red, this screams 80s. And that's something I love to see. So does that pink one behind me. That pink one just over my shoulder. That's a BC Rich Gunslinger and pink checkerboard. But when you see that, this is an 80s guitar. And these are so great. They're so light. This one's a Takuchi Trem. I'm sorry, this one's a Goto Trem, which is one of the companies that BC Rich licensed out because, again, all the real Floyds were over at Kramer. Kramer had a deal locked up with Floyd Rose. So the real original Floyd Roses were on Kramer's, and BC Rich and Jackson and Charvel licensed copies of Floyd Roses. Floyd Rose licensed guitar bridges from companies like Goto and Takuchi. This one being a Goto with a nice push-in bar. Just terrific. Just a really great shredder. And CC DeVille, you had a bunch of these. I mean, that was like a signature guitar. The guys from Warrant, you remember the one with Felix the Cat, the one with the Roadrunner on it, the one with the Sex guitar that I've had on the show before from Eric Turner and Joey Allen. CC DeVille, of course, had the Nagel and a bunch of others. And he had a Rainbow Crackle, too, if you look in, I think, Nothing But a Good Time video. But these came in all different colors. They came in multiple colors, like I was talking about the rainbow. But they also had blue crackle, yellow crackle, green crackle, pretty much every color you can imagine. I've had pink crackle on the show before. And these are just terrific. Really light, really fast, really fun. BC Rich Gunslinger. This particular one, 1988. 88 and 89 were the main years these were made. And then later ones were made when BC Rich got taken over by Class Axe. And the quality went down a little bit, admittedly. It depends. Some people like the Class Axe ones better. I like both of them, but these are my favorites. These from 1989 and 1988, the two biggest years that they came out. Also, BC Rich Gunslinger created by Dan Lawrence and Glenn Matasiel. Who went from Charvel to BC Rich, and they knew what players wanted. They knew what players wanted because initially, when BC Rich started getting into the Strat game, they did the ST, and the ST was okay. It was an average Strat, and then they brought on the ST3, which started getting better, and then Dan and Glenn came up with the Gunslinger, and that was as good as BC Rich ever made on a bolt-on guitar. So 1988 BC Rich Gunslinger in blood red crackle. That is your show and tell guitar of the week. There you go. Love this thing, Johnny. I love all these. That's why
I love all 300 of them.
300 plus. That's why I have them, because I love them. But Gunslingers are one of my favorites. They really are. They're so fun to play. And they're just cool. I mean, I love all the different graphics and finishes they have. They're just terrific. 1988, Keith Campbell. So let's see. Let's also thank the sponsors of today's show and tell guitar, starting with our buddy Craig Vineham at Vineham Custom Pickups, maker of the Mancuda Custom. Specially made for me. I love Vineham Custom Pickups. I have them in a couple of guitars. And this set, as soon as I find a specific guitar I'm looking for, that I won't say what, but Paulie knows, we'll go in, and I can't wait to get this set in also. But I have a couple of them. If you want to hot rod your tone, Vineham Custom Pickups is the pickup company you want to call. Tell Craig Vineham what you want. He will make it happen. You want something similar to a Duncan JB, but a little less muddy, he'll do that. You want a P90, but a little brighter, he'll make one for you. And he has just versions and different alternative versions of all the popular pickups you like, but better. And he does all sorts of custom wines, custom colors. Vineham Custom Pickups, this is what you want. in your next guitar. Check them out. If you have a guitar that doesn't sound good, Bynum Custom Pickups. Check them out. Okay. Bynum Custom Pickups. Also, while you're hot rodding your guitar, why don't you add a Tessie switch, the greatest kill switch made, the most durable, the best made, the most reliable. Tessie switch. There it is, Johnny. Tessie switch. Why would you not call Tessie switch? Because they make the best ones. That's what you want. You want a Tessie switch. And if you're hot rodding your guitar overall and you want to upgrade your bridge and you want to upgrade your saddles, you want titanium parts, you want a big brass block, you want to get more tone, you want to go to FU-tone.
FU-tone.
FU-tone.com. FU-tone is the greatest hot rodder out there. They have everything. You want titanium parts, they got it. You want to upgrade your Floyd, you want to upgrade your nuts. Want to upgrade your nuts, Johnny? They got it.
They are awesome.
They are. They have tuner. Everything you want to hot rod your guitar. That's where you want to go. You want to check out FU-tone. And
yes,
we really appreciate their sponsorship, of course, because it goes very nice with our Swiss picks that we also appreciate. Thank you, Swiss picks. The best gripping pick
those are
to
awesome.
play. Best gripping pick to play.
Yeah.
As well. Let's see what else is in music news. Let's see. Anthrax working on a new studio album due 2022. Frank Bello was talking about that. Let's see. Wendy Dio went public talking about Ronnie James Dio's Rainbow in the Dark autobiography. She was talking about that. And will there be a part 2? Because right now the book as it sits goes up to the end of the 80s. And a lot of stuff happened with Ronnie in the 90s and up. Ronnie went back to Black Sabbath. Ronnie won awards. Ronnie was doing a lot of other work. The music scene changed and how that affected Ronnie's life. So there is more material that Ronnie wrote, enough for a book 2. Will a book 2 come out? Wendy says it depends on the sales of book 1. If there are enough sales of Ronnie's first volume of autobiography, that she says she is considering a possible part 2 to that. So that is something to check out. And Rainbow in the Dark, Ronnie James Dio's autobiography. I'm looking forward to getting a copy, whoever wants to get me one. But I love Ronnie James Dio. He's, a legend, of course, in metal. Gave us those beautiful horns and so much good music and personality. We miss him. I'm dying to read that book. I love metal autobiographies. I love books about the 80s and the rock scene and whatnot. So there's that. Let's see. Talked about Dream Theater, their big announcement tomorrow. Big announcement of what's supposedly one of their greatest albums from insiders. Like I said, I've heard about that. Michael B., you're behind. We talked about Joey Jordison. I always mess his name up. Jordison. We talked about him, and we also talked about Mike Howe passing away. So we talked about that earlier in the show, but you can't say it enough. Rest in peace, guys. Rock in peace. Let's talk about a movie that's coming out August 27th. My buddy Glenn Danzig and a good cast, including Danny Trejo, are in a new movie, a spaghetti western that Glenn Danzig wrote and produced and acted in, called Death Rider in the House of Vampires. Coming to theaters August 27th. Death Rider in the House of Vampires is basically a spaghetti western with vampires. So if you remember what a spaghetti western is, spaghetti westerns were really in the 70s. There was a rash of western movies, and Italy wanted to produce a bunch of them and hired guys like Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood and all the usual suspects that were making big deals in America, and hiring them at slightly lower rates to make a bit more campy and lower budget and, some really fun westerns in Italy, hence the term spaghetti western. So Glenn Danzig, a big fan of those, came up with the idea, hey, I'm also a big vampire fan. There's a big vampire population of fans that are also my following. Why not combine the two genres and have a spaghetti Western that's a horror movie? And it'll be fun. It'll be cool. There will be gore. There will be vampires. There will be sex. It'll be just kick ass. And I love Glenn's stuff. I'm a friend of his. I'm a fan of his. I love the things he's done musically in his own band and in Sam Hain and, obviously the Misfits and whatnot. But, he did the Verotic movie in 2019. That was based on a comic book. This vampire cowboy movie coming to theaters, this is based on his own writings, on his own passion for vampires and his love of these cowboy movies. So, the idea that he's got Danny Trejo in there as well, I think that's just fun and funny. He's got a couple of scream queens in there. He's got a couple of regular actors. I wish I was in that cast. I'm not, but I sure wish I was. It looks a lot of fun. I saw the preview. I think it's really neat. So check it out. There's a trailer online. You could look up Death Rider in the House of Vampires trailer on YouTube after the show. And the movie will be coming to theaters August 27th. I think that'll be a lot of fun. The premise is basically that in the Old West, it's hard for a vampire. It's hard already to be a vampire, much less in the Old West. So there's a sanctuary in the Old West for vampires. And to get in, you've got to bring a virgin. You've got to sacrifice a virgin as the toll to join Sanctuary, which is ruled by an elderly vampire, like a senior vampire who lords over other vampires. And it looks really cool. There's nothing better than, sexy vampire chicks and, vampires ripping throats out of virgins. What's not to like? And gunplay. It is a spaghetti Western. So there's banditos and what's not to like? It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. You're going to see it, Johnny, I imagine.
Probably not.
I think you will. I know you will. I know you will. I don't even know where he got the cast of virgins. Probably had to check that and make sure they were virgins to for realism. For realism.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could have been in that.
I should have been in that. I should have been the first virgin cast. You would think. And no, Gargets Entertainment. Anal does not count as being a virgin. Or does it? It kind of does, actually.
You would know.
It kind of does. It depends.
Hey, Garguts. Welcome, man.
Gargets Entertainment. Yeah, JR says Italian movies, but sometimes filmed in Spain. That's true. Yeah, Hellstorm, like Gallo Walker with Wesley Snipes. Yeah, stuff like that. A lot of those were really fun. Fistful of Dollars, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. What's not to like? I'm sure it'll be better than the last Quentin Tarantino cowboy movie, which I thought was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good luck to Glenn Danzig. I get to be in the sequel, Glenn, if anyone from Glenn's camp is watching.
Just follow him around when he's walking to the cheese.
I'll be like Chris Jericho. Hey, Glenn, I know you have a bodyguard in front of you, but I really, in case ninjas or vampires or cowboys attack you, I'll protect you. I'll protect. Man, Cootie, get the fuck away from me. Yeah. Nah, Glenn's a good guy, man. And Jesus Rapes Me. I just want to correct your misinformation. Jesus Rapes Me says all the Mormon girls in Utah are virgins because they only do anal until they marry. That's not true. They do oral and lots of it. They inhale more semen than oxygen. So that way they are virgins. It's not about anal in Utah. It's all about blowjobs. So just so you know.
Wow. Well, here's somebody we can ask. Is that true?
That is absolutely true.
Thank you, Dane Zimmerman.
Thank you, Dan.
The great Dane Zimmerman, everybody. Thank you.
There
Dane.
he is.
Listen, I crossed the border into Utah, and you better believe I want to see them sucking dick. Yeah. How are you, Dane?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you guys for letting me come on.
Thank you for coming on, brother.
That is a nice looking BC Rich you had there a minute ago.
Thank you, bro.
I love that crackle finish.
Will you be seeing Glenn Danzig's new movie, Death Rider and the House of Vampires?
If it ever comes on Netflix, like in 10 years from now, if I'm still alive, God willing.
I think it'll be on Netflix after the week it opens. I think it'll be streaming as well.
Mike, where do you want to put Dane?
In his mouth.
Which corner?
Oh.
Top, left, or right, or bottom?
Are you a bottom or a top, Dane?
Oh,
Well, in the used guitar business, I guess I would be sort of a bottom feeder.
There you go. Jay Hannon back in the chat. What's up, brother?
Jay. Bottom. Okay.
Mike Neese gets to call it. Dane is in the bottom. Dane's the bottom.
That's what I thought you were in prison.
There you go. Dane, do you have any new interesting inventory over at Zim's Guitars in Arizona?
I have a bass guitar that I played a gig Saturday night, and I got a BC Rich bass that I played. So let me grab that.
Is that something you'll sell? Is that something for sale, or is that another no sale?
This is a no sale.
You don't no ship. Never ship. Never ship.
I'm never gonna ship this thing.
Never ship. Let's see what we got. Oh, gee. I hear a lot of commotion, Dana. You okay?
It was so much fun bringing this thing to the show.
Man.
Look at that thing. That thing's badass. Did you have that painted, or did that come that way?
No, man. I had this thing painted.
Oh, that's a good choice, man. Look at that. A metallic purple pearl bullseye. Even the black on that bullseye I see as a sparkle finish. Look at that thing. What a beautiful finish.
I'm in sort of an 80s style of band, and so this thing works.
Good choice, man. Good choice. So this is what, a BC Rich NJ Warlock? Is that an NJ?
Yes.
NJ stands for Nagoya, Japan, by the way. It doesn't stand for New Jersey for those that look at it. Although I have to admit, I accidentally look at that and I think mentally, oh, New Jersey, but it's not. It's Nagoya, Japan. Guys in the chat, would you rock that thing? Take a survey, Johnny.
And hey, Dane, since you're on the bottom, play Big Bottom for us.
Big bottoms, big bottoms.
It's just two notes.
Talk about bun cakes. My girl's got them. Big bottoms going out of my mind. How can I leave this behind? Yeah.
What's the survey?
The survey is, would you rock that bass? What do you think? Yay or nay?
I am very secure in my masculinity. I have no problem bringing this thing out onto stage.
Oh, me
under
here.
the red lights, because a lot of times you're on stage and lights are red, it comes out really pink looking.
No, that color is kick ass. First of all, the 80s were the best looking guitar time ever.
You were talking earlier about breast awareness, and my band is actually playing Bikers for Boobies in Scottsdale in October. I think it's the date is the 13th or the 14th or something.
Nice. Big shout out to all the bikers.
Everybody has to dress in pink.
Nice. That's
and
my
Gilby
job.
Clark is the headliner.
Great, man. Worthy cause.
Awesome.
I assume the tickets are going to breast cancer awareness or the American Cancer Society, something like that.
Yep. It's at the Dirty Dog Saloon in North Scottsdale.
What's the date?
Um,
John Biel.
let me think.
John Biel will be the headliner. John Biel also is ahead of Robin to be Batman.
I'm gonna call it the 14th.
John Biel, man.
14th of what? August?
October.
October 14th.
It's in October.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
So plenty of time to get tickets. And remind me, Dane. We'll talk more about that. We'll give more plugs for that.
Yeah, all you guys fly into Scottsdale or fly into Phoenix. Come up to Scottsdale. Gilby Clarke is the headliner. They put a giant stage out in the parking lot under a huge canopy. Everybody there is dressed in pink. Hundreds of people dressed in pink.
So I'll be incognito that day.
Yeah.
No one will recognize me. Normally I stand out in a crowd. No one will recognize me. Hellstorm says Dane is the new bassist in Steel Panther. Any truth to that rumor, Dane?
Man, if it was 10, 15 years ago, I'd say yes.
I thought we had an exclusive here.
If it was 10 or 15 years ago, I'd say hell yeah. Put me in some Steel Panther.
That's a badass looking bass in Steel Panther. That would fit right in. That would fit right in.
I look good in spandex too.
I agree. As my bottom, I agree.
My belly's kind of sticking out. I'm starting to get a little bit of what they call what do they call that when your belly sticks out
Your pooch.
so much you can't even see your dick anymore?
Your pooch. Well, I have a tiny dick, so I don't take much of a belly to hide mine. But in cold water, I call it a belly button. Let's see. Keith Campbell brings up a good point. At the show, I'm gonna have to invert my look. So what I'll be doing, I'll be wearing a black scarf, a black hat, and a pink shirt. So I'll be reversed, so everyone will know it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, E flat 916 says Lexi Fox might be the new bassist for Megadeth. That'd be pretty funny. Rena says it's your muffin top. Is that right?
No, I think it's called your Dickie Do.
My Dickie do.
That's
My
what my
Dickie don't.
stomach
My
sticks
Dickie.
out
My
more than
Dickie
your
don't.
Dickie Do.
My
Yeah, there
Dickie
it is.
don't.
Dickie
There it
do.
is. Dickie do.
Uh-huh.
Rena says it's your moose knuckle. No, that's something else, man. Mike Nee says it's called a Dickie do because your belly sticks out more than your Dickie do.
Yeah.
There you go. My mother's right now. Oh, Dickie do. Now, Dickie do for me is when you're in prison fucking someone in the ass. You pull out your dick and you go, do.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. Because, there's not much to do in prison. So. The survey says the answer, would you rock that bass? 67%, Dane, said yes.
Right on.
Only 17% said no, and 14% said boner noise. That's right. Thank you.
I also have a Dave Ellefson bass that I used to play all the time.
Is that a white splatter?
I don't know what to do with it. It's at my house.
I'll bet.
It's in the bag. It's in a closet at my house. I should probably bring it down and
Just
double
don't
the price on it now that he's the ex-member, right? Come up with a story.
Just don't FaceTime with it.
Thank you, Lenny Lou. Yeah, definitely don't FaceTime with it. Just show up naked in front of the screen with that blocking your junk, like kind of like Flea does, Yeah.
God.
And no, Keith Campbell, I've never been to jail. I'm actually a very good boy. But I know friends that have. And I hear stories.
That Davies, what's that bass player YouTube channel? And he just gets millions of views on everything. Davies 77 or do you guys know what I'm
that's
talking
Johnny
about?
Beane. That's Johnny Beane you're referring to.
Okay.
Probably
He said
me.
millions of views. By the way, speaking of millions of views, like and subscribe the video. Please smash that like button. Just take your frustration on it and just smash it. Smash it. Just smash that.
Yeah,
button.
we only have 79. We can get 100.
We sure can.
We got 100
Yes.
watching.
Easily.
Yeah, if I was to join Steel Panther, though, what would my little gimmick be? What would my name? What would you give him? What name would you guys
Sad
give?
Ace. Sad Ace. 'Cause
Sad Ace.
that's where Ace wound up with Steel Panther.
Yeah.
E flat, we just showed a guitar and a bass today. You just saw that. You missed that.
I've heard rumors that, Steel Panther uses a lot of backing tracks. Y'all know that because when you're pulling off all those songs, they had Lexi in there because he was a great singer. But I heard rumors that all his bass parts were part of the backing track.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I'd have to. I mean, you can't really take rumors to heart, but I'd have to watch another show or watch a video of their old shows to see if that's true. Hey, Jay Turner.
Hey, Jay. Speaking of bass players, Jay Turner.
There you go. The great Jay Turner, everybody in the house. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Turner in the house. So, Johnny, are we at 100 likes yet?
80.
80. Take a second. Let's get 20 more likes in the video. Because why not? It's free. If you're watching right now, we got over 100 people in the chat right now. Just take a second, hit the like button. Between yes. here and the next little bit.
Log into all your trolling accounts.
Yeah.
And leave some thumbs ups.
E flat 916 wants to know, how many years was I on Saturday Night Live? I was a featured extra on SNL, TV show SNL, for 6 years, from 1995 to 2001, I think was my space. So I worked with a lot of everybody, from celebrities to the regular players to the musicians. And it's funny because a lot of my friends would just see me on TV one night and just see me the next day and be like, "Oh, you were in a skit with Robert De Niro. That's kind of neat." And it was, and that was really where I got a lot of my feet wet in TV gigs. So 6 years. Thank you for asking. Yeah, and hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed. We'd appreciate it if you would, because why not?
Licks.
It's
Sharon's
free.
calling me Sweet Licks.
Ooh, Sweet Licks.
Yeah,
that was Dane's prison name as well. Was Sweet Licks.
It's like a lollipop I want to bunk with.
Hey, 10
Sweet
years
Licks.
ago, I was in a very similar band. We were called the Hollywood and Vine. And that's what we did. We did the 80s hair metal stuff. And one of our best shows was down at the casino in Tucson. And it's the AVA amphitheaters right outside the casino. We were inside the casino, but Sammy Hagar and Gary Sharon were on the outside big arena stage. When Gary Sharon's band they were opening for Hagar. When Gary Sharon's band got done, they came inside the casino. And
I hope they wiped it up.
Songs. Yeah, they did 6 songs on our gear, and we got out of the way and let them play. And then Gary was the super
let him come in the
guy.
casino.
Yeah, but we probably had, I don't know, 600, 700, 800 people in the casino watching us play. I had a big old blonde Dee Snider wig on, an LA Dodgers hat. Yeah.
Nice.
All the guy liner and everything.
We were talking about
awesome.
D. We were talking about D earlier. The great Dee Snider. Again, also my Long Island homeboy, because I'm also from Long Island, New York originally, and go back often. Dee's terrific. So you were basically playing as D. Speaking of playing, the Rock Island Fest has set up its tour dates. For those not familiar, Rock Island Fest is a very big concert event in Key West, Florida. Rock Island, ROK Island Fest, Key West, Florida. It's January 2022. Let's just look at the lineup, because the lineup is incredible this year. Let's see. I think, what is it? Packages and passes will go on sale Monday, August 9th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The full experience package allows Rock Island Fest's incredible concierge team to book a special curated experience based on your personal interests, including a 4-day festival pass, lodging, private sunset sail with live music. That's romantic. Take your partner. exclusive discounts, and more. This pass-only options includes access to all festival performances, but not lodging. Here's the lineup. Let's see the dates on this. Well, you can start buying tickets to August 9th. The actual dates, January 14th through 17th of 2022. And get this lineup. This is a show you guys and girls want to go to. Bret Michaels, Dee Snider, Jackal, Loverboy, Night Ranger, Skid Row, Warrant, Winger, Dokken and Lynch Reunion, Lita Ford, Jack Russell's Great White, Slaughter, Firehouse, Last in Line, Steelheart, Bullet Boys, Vixen, Enough's Enough, Faster Pussycat, Bang Tango. This is like the concert of the fucking year in January. I mean, that lineup. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear how many bands, how many good bands that is?
Tell me again where this was at. Where's this at?
This is Key West in Florida.
Oh, how fun
on
would that
January
be?
14th to the 17th, right? Parasail, snorkel, and then go see the concerts every day. Hang out with the rockers, boat rides, all sorts of water stuff, and just, you know,
that'd be so cool.
Really badass. Really badass.
Just don't follow Paul McCartney around.
Yeah,
Guys,
don't be. You notice Fozzie's not in that lineup. He's kind of banned from everywhere. Now they're afraid he's going to stalk Bret Michaels.
I'm pretty sure Faster Pussycat is at the Whiskey a Go-Go this New Year's Eve.
Well,
so I
this
might
New Year,
be there.
No, this New Year's Eve you'll want to be at the Johnny Beane New Year's Eve special as usual.
I have a gig.
Well, we'll see.
I might miss that.
Well, we'll see.
Go live
Maybe I'll dress as you. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll dress as you. That's
Go
true.
live
Why-
from the Whiskey.
Yeah, we'll have a live performance from the Whiskey. I'll
cool.
go there. I'll go there on the spot reporting.
That'd be stand out front.
And take a second, leave a thumbs up. We're trying to reach 100 before we go home. Let's see.
Jack Russell's Great White, man.
Jack Russell's great. I mean, I love both versions of Great White. Great White. I really do. I like Mark Kendall's original band version. I like Jack Russell too. There's no wrong answer.
It's been a long ride, and I think he had some back issues a few years back.
He likes when he's on his back and
hurting
some
him or
chicks on
something.
top of him.
Yeah.
Let's see. There you go. Just looking here at the chat.
Huge 80s, man. The 80s are awesome. They were awesome. I'm looking forward to going to a bunch of shows and playing a bunch of shows. And
Yeah,
have
listen,
you ever been on one of those cruises, like where all the 80s cruises?
here's the problem, and you know I'm a massive 80s fan. I host a fucking show about 80s music, so you know I love the shit.
Right.
The thing is, you know, the 80s cruises, I love all the bands playing. What I don't like is cruises, because you're on a fucking boat, you're trapped on there in the middle of the ocean. Forget the Titanic nightmare. Okay, you worry about sinking. That's not even what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is you're gonna get sick. There's two things that are gonna happen. You're always gonna get sick, be it the flu or COVID or whatever the fuck it is that's going around the ship. Everyone's trapped on the damn ship. You're gonna catch whatever someone brought on board. Second, the toilets are always fucked. They're always overflowing. There's usually shit water running down the hallways.
Don't take a dump for 4 days. The whole 5 days that you're on the cruise, just don't take a dump.
I'll take a dump wherever I please. I'll take a dump on the water slide in the captain's deck. I'll take a water slide over the railing onto the deck below, into the fucking pool. I'll take a shit. Those toilets are always, they never work. They never work. You're in a tiny cabin. Shit smell everywhere, sickness everywhere. It's like coming to Ellis Island in the 1920s.
Everybody's
I don't want to be on
drunk and puking everywhere.
Yeah, I don't want to be on a boat. I don't want to.
But what's the good part of it?
You're seeing great bands.
You see great bands. They're all just hanging out. You go to the pool, all these dudes, you know, all these girls.
Yeah, I don't want to see dudes. I don't want to see any dudes. I don't want to see any dudes
hanging out.
I want to see any dudes at the pool hanging out of their banana hammocks is what they're hanging out of. I don't want to see any dudes at the pool. I want to see chicks at the pool. I want to see. I want to see the I want to see the Love Boat pickle party there.
Just to hang. That's what they call the hang. I'm going to the pool.
To hang out of my shorts. Yeah, I'd rather go to Florida. I'd rather see the Rock Island.
Speedos on.
Yeah, my Speedos too fast for love. I mean, look, if you give me a choice between a ship and Florida, I'd rather go to Key West.
Do you suffer seasickness and air sickness and stuff when you fly around and all that?
I got seasick once on like a small boat. I went on a deep sea fishing boat, and I didn't realize it wasn't the motion that was bothering me, but some of those fishing boats, they have gas engines and the fumes. There's nowhere to go, but you're breathing in these
diesel
fumes.
Engines.
So it was a diesel engine. Yeah. I was getting sick just from the smell and taste of the fumes in the air. I was like throwing up and fucking laying there. I wasn't catching fish. I was chumming the water. I was busy chumming the water.
I have friends that do those cruises every year. They just can't wait.
I have friends that love them. I don't want to be on the damn boat. I don't want to be on a boat. I like to get to my destination. Even when I fly out of the country, I go to Europe or Australia or wherever I go. I don't want to sail there and take all week. I want to fly there, be there in less than a day, and then I want to enjoy the country. I don't want to be on a damn boat. Who out here loves being on cruises? Do any guys in the chat, any girls in the chat, anyone like going on those cruises? Forget the acts. Do you like being on those big fucking boats with the toilets overflowing and fucking all the fucking problems associated with the cruise lines? I don't want to fucking be on that. Who in the chat likes those? Anybody? Let's see. Warren Graham Music and 5150 Lover. My band played on a ship in the 80s, and the first thing we were told was don't hook up with the women on the ship. When we asked why, because they said this is nicknamed the AIDS cruise because it was under 30s only. Jesus. Condoms, people. Condoms. Fuck that. I do not like being on a boat.
No, I wouldn't do that no matter.
Take that.
I've always had the problem with condoms is they always break every time.
On a cruise? Oh, anywhere. Yeah. Well, here's the problem, Dane. You use those Magnum condoms trying to hold in that big hog of yours. I use Trojan Micros, which are basically like thumbnail kind of condoms that I roll onto my little Good and Plenty, and and they slip off. So I'm at more risk than you. In one way that the condom keeps falling off, but I'm not as much a risk in you is that I barely reach the vag. So, if I were you, I'd just use latex paint, just cover the whole thing, just like that. It's like painting a rib roast,
There's been a lot of times where I've been to those parties where the girls have bananas. And they have to hold a banana in their mouth and put a condom on it, and it's a contest.
That's always fun. That's a good party.
Those are fun contests, yeah.
No, I'm digging that. Invite me to that party. Yeah, and Lenny Lou says, all the elderly people are running to the drink and the buffet, and they're drooling on it and touching their hands that were just in their mouths, and they're touching the shrimp, and I don't want to touch those fucking buffets.
But if I'm on a cruise ship like that with all these dozens of really killer bands, there's that small chance that a bass player like myself can persuade one of these guys to, hey man, let me get up there and play Modern Day Cowboy with you guys, Tesla. Or let me get up there and play Babylon with just one of these bands. Might let me frickin' jam with them. Wouldn't that be cool?
You could do that at a club show. I think it's a better chance to happen at a club show. And then let's see. Hobo Roadie. Mom's 50-foot racing yacht is totally seaworthy, but fuck being stuck on board with a bunch of ninnies. Yeah. Listen, the only reason I would go on an elderly cruise is to get laid. Because I like that geriatric pussy. I want that. I like them at least in their 70s, preferably in their 80s and 90s. I want them as old and dry as possible. because they don't know that I suck. You know, they don't know I have a tiny penis. They're squinting. Is that your penis? And I'm, yes, it's big. Well, I better get my glasses. No, it's big. Trust me. Yeah.
Condom breaker. That's a good one.
That's a good name, man. That's a good name.
I'll go with it.
There we go. So let's see. The survey says on the boat, do you like be on a boat? 42% said yes. That's not a big amount. 35% said strict no, and 23% so dizzy and gross. That's 58% basically no.
What's the little yellow pill? What's the pill you could Dramamine? Something
Viagra. Viagra. Oh, wait. What pill were you talking about? Oh, Dramamine. Yes,
yeah,
Dramamine.
That stuff would help.
Yeah, if you worry about getting seasick, that's one thing. I'm not worried about getting seasick. I'm worried about toilets overflowing, disease spreading. You know?
Yeah, you always hear about everybody on, even before, long before COVID, you would hear about everybody on the boat got sick.
Oh, constantly. I always hear people, my mother and father, God rest my father, coming back from a cruise. How was the cruise? Well, first of all, everyone was sick, and the smell from the toilets, and I thought we were sinking, but it was really the neighbor's toilet overflowing down the hallway. Yeah, no, I don't want the fucking cruises. Fuck
43% though are going to try to put up with it.
Hey, God bless you all. God bless you all. As orcas is circling the boat, trying to pick out their next meal. God bless you if you want to be on a cruise.
Once in a while, I'll watch the television in my back room back here when I'm stringing up a guitar or something. The Love Boat comes on because I watch all those weird channels.
And new.
Those Love Boat people, man, they had no problem being out on that boat.
There's a turd for you.
They were all getting laid, and it made all the women really horny to be on that boat.
Yeah, because they're trapped. They're trapped on the fucking boat. Of course they're horny. They can't get away. It's like Pepe Le Pew is dying to go on a cruise because the cat has nowhere to run. You know? I mean, of course you're gonna get laid on a cruise because there's nowhere to fucking run. It's like, Paul McCartney's on a cruise. He's always making sure, checking the list that Chris Jericho is not on the register as a guest. I don't want him to be on the same boat. He'll always be following me to the buffet as I get my shrimp.
I followed a couple people around when I was out at the NAMM show. I mean, not like crazy follow them around, but yeah.
I mean, if you watch someone,
Paul Gilbert, hey, there's Paul Gilbert.
You want to walk up and say hi to someone. That's normal. That's fine. Yeah. That's normal. We're all friends. But when you walk and you're stalking the guy and you're sneaking up behind him and you're talking to him, and then you're following his security guard, and you're following him to eat, and then you're following him, bothering him when he's eating dinner. What the fuck are you thinking?
That's how Johnny got that photo.
Yeah, that's it. Paul Gilbert's like, listen, Johnny, if I take a photo with you, will you just leave me alone? Well, if you get Nuno, I'm trying to get away from him. What are you pulling me into this? All right. Johnny's just like putting his arms around him. Hey,
No, they're following me. And I turned around and I said, okay, just one picture. And
all right, guys, just one.
Did you guys hear anything out of Summer NAMM? I know that it was just last weekend, and I heard people went there and it was very quiet. You'd walk around for a half hour, 45 minutes, and you were ready to leave.
4 to 5 minutes.
I saw a quick video. Summer NAMM, for those that don't know, is the NAMM nobody goes to. It was in Nashville. And nobody really goes. Nothing really important happens. I don't go. I go to Winter NAMM in Anaheim every year. And Summer NAMM, I saw a video of it. It looked like a zombie graveyard of nobody there. Just, quiet YouTubers just, doing little videos of, we're at Yamaha now. Here's the Yamaha.
Oh, yeah. Or we're at the Martin booth.
Oh, this is a Martin. This is a
Nobody
great
wants
one.
to look at what's in the Martin booth.
What's new for Martin this year? Same shit since the 1930s. Oh, well, I see the new Martin travel guitar here. This is really great. What a tone. Martin always has the best wood tones. They suck, kid. Please go away. Yeah, all right. We're gonna go over to Yamaha soon and see what's new there. It's like I don't even know why the better brands go there, because no one else goes there. It's just like a boring fucking thing. Even the food trucks don't want to show up there. You know, I mean, they know they're not going to make any money. Everyone's bringing a bag peanut butter sandwich, and that's why the guitars are so sticky. Except the Ellefson bass is sticky. The Ellefson bass is sticky for another reason, but let's leave that alone.
I could spend hours right there at the Ibanez booth for some reason. That felt like my home base. When I'm at NAMM, you'd walk around, then you'd come back to the Ibanez booth.
Mm-hmm.
You meet up with your buddies, and then you'd wander off, and then you'd come back to Ibanez.
But you notice the new Steve Vai Pia is not going to premiere at Summer NAMM because no one's going to be there to see it. They're enjoying summer. They're out. They're enjoying summer. They're traveling. They're doing. Listen, we're trying to get out of lockdowns, and of course, you know, with what's going on with COVID Delta now, we're getting back into them. But you know, we're trying. We're trying to live our lives normal. And Summer NAMM is not a part of that. It's not a good social event. There's nothing being debuted there of interest. It's just a boring, quiet show in Nashville. And, you know, nothing against Nashville, but, you know, I could find better reasons to go to Nashville than Summer NAMM, you know? And if you're going to go to NAMM, go to Winter NAMM, where everything's newsworthy. And, you know, Johnny and I are walking around with cameras. Hey, get a video of this. Brand new, introduced at Winter NAMM, blah, blah, blah. Debuting at Winter NAMM. Not, the new Yamaha. We have new tuning pegs on these. The tuning pegs used to be a gloss white. Now they're more of a flat white, like a bone look. And that's great. That's debuting new at Summer NAMM.
The Winter NAMM show is so fun. I mean, you're standing there and you're like, oh shit, there's the dude from Slipknot over there. Maybe I can get him to do a yo-yo trick for my video. And then there's Carlos Cavazo going up the escalator, and you don't know which way to walk.
Yeah,
you don't know who
the only people that go to Summer NAMM are Balloon Knot and Ricky Ricardo. That's the only acts you'll see at Summer NAMM.
Well, Gibson, I think, was there. Where
Mel
they got
Gibson?
this new Gibson garage thing.
Hey, sugar tits.
What's the deal
Mel
with
Gibson
this new Gibson garage? Is that just some sort of a? Have you guys heard anything about the new Gibson garage?
What is that?
It's maybe some new sales pitch they're doing or something.
Did it debut at Summer NAMM? Did it debut at Summer NAMM?
It was. It's
that's why none of us know about it. That's why none of us know about it. Yeah. Yeah. No, Hellstorm. I love Nashville on its own. I don't love Summer NAMM. I'll go to Nashville and hang out. There's music everywhere. It's a great fucking city.
Yeah.
But I won't go for Summer NAMM to hear about Gibson's garage. Gibson's garage is probably something like, that's where we store all the old sold Epiphones right in the garage. So it's debuting here. Yeah, no. Winter NAMM, you can't keep up with all the new stuff that's showcasing at Winter NAMM. And it's a showcase event, and it's fun, and Anaheim's cool, and you have Mari's Italian restaurant that we all go to.
Yeah, try that clam chowder, right?
That chowder, baby. Yum. God bless Mari's Italian restaurant.
If you guys look way back in Johnny's videos, there's a night where There's a couple of
nights.
2 nights in a row, maybe.
Every night, I organize a table of friends and cool people at Mari's. They take good care of us. So we were all
rounded on this little table, and we all get this big giant plate of Italian food. And I was stuck way over in the corner by Caleb, and I had like this much elbow room, and that one guy. Justin. Who's the guy that you know and he lives out in Tokyo? Justin?
There's a couple
Jason?
of people.
Jason McNamara. Jason. Okay, Jason's like, hey man, can I sit over there and talk to Caleb for a second? I said, sure, man, I'll switch seats with you. And I got into a seat that actually had a little bit of elbow room, and just then that plate of food came down. And I was like, nice, I can concentrate on, chicken Parmesan and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason's stuck over in the corner and he goes, hey, Zim, can I have my chair back? And I said, no. I just said, and he gave me a really dirty look. I hope he's not still mad at me.
Nah, Jason's a good guy. Let's see. And
I found that picture.
And Pink Lady, we talked about Joey Jordison earlier. And we also talked about Mike Howe from Metal Church. So yeah, we talked about that earlier in the show.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, here he is. Yeah, you see Jason all the way in that little back corner next to Johnny.
Sure.
Well, Caleb was right on his right. And Caleb's not in that shot right there, but at least I had a little tiny bit of elbow room.
And that's only part of the table. We always get a large, kind of like a royal treatment table, a private table, because I'm friendly with the owners there. Shout out to my buddy Alex there, who's just phenomenal at managing that. And we usually have about 20 people, something like that. And
I actually ate my meal, and then I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys. And I was heading out. And John was like, hey, you make sure you go and pay your bill and you give them a nice big don't worry, man. I know everyone's going to pay their bill. I just want to make sure that the staff there always gets tipped well. I'm a good tipper. I like making sure that everyone takes care of the staff because they treat us like royalty there. They're so attentive and so good. I want to make sure that is rewarded. And get this, the owner of the store, the owner of the place? What's his name?
Alex. It's Alex.
Alex. Okay. I walk out front. I get on my phone. I'm like, how the hell do I get an Uber? Because
Alex is calling you one, right?
He goes, bro, let me give you a ride. Where are you staying at? Oh, I'm just right over here.
He's the best, right?
He gave me a ride back to my hotel.
Yeah. Mari's Italian restaurant down there. They're just gold. And I think one of the guys from Warrior is a waiter there, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Well, no, it's a running joke through the show today.
The whole staff.
The whole staff was in Warrior. There's one of the dishwashers and one of the gay. Yeah, you were in Warrior, right? Gay? Yeah,
That reminds me,
he was the bass player.
6-7 years ago, the punk band I was in, we opened up for the Vibrators. If you look at the list of people that have been in the Vibrators, it's like 50 some people have been in that and out of that band.
In and out, you say? The Vibrators in and out? Yes.
Yeah.
They were in or the vibrator.
And then they go right back out.
That's my mother's favorite band. Oh, I love the Vibrator. Yeah, Mari's Italian restaurant. Shout out. They're delicious over there. So fun. I mean, that's Summer Nam. That's right. Summer Nam versus Winter Nam. Winter Nam, the food's better, the people are better, the crowds are better, all the merch is better, all that's revealed is better. There's just no reason. I'm sorry, there's just no reason to go to Summer Nam. If you go, God bless you. If you want to visit Nashville, sure, not a bad time, You'll certainly get to see the Yamaha booth and the Martin booth and Spectre.
There's another restaurant right down there on the next corner over or something, but I remember
in what Anaheim?
Phil McKnight and the Tone King Chicken and Biscuits or someplace like that. Some biscuit place. Or something.
I know
Roscoe's.
Well, Roscoe's is up here in Hollywood where I am. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. That's a very famous.
No, I think there's one right as you walk out of Nam, right there off to the right, heading.
I don't know. All I know is when I walk out, there's two places down in Anaheim I want to go other than Disney World. There's Nam and there's Mari's Italian restaurant. Every night, I'm down there every night. Every night I go down there. Every night. There's no wrong answer except Mari's. That's the only correct answer to that question.
What about that world famous place in Hollywood right there, Bernie's Beanery?
Barney's Beanery.
Barney's.
Barney's Beanery. Barney's Beanery. Johnny, have you been there? Barney's
Yeah.
Beanery?
I've been there a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a fun place. That's just one of those places you go. It's kind of like an everyone hangout, but the menu is like a phone book. It's just like this thick, and it's got like all my mother sees is me on the screen with the volume off, and she turns on the volume this thick. I
watched some video about it, and apparently
about my mom.
Roth used to hang out there back in the old days.
Yeah, no, it's
Mark
a Hollywood
Gable,
hangout.
Everybody was there.
Well, it's a hangout in West Hollywood. Barney's Beanery. It's it's fun. It's fun food.
They had the tables with like the comic books embedded, or the newspapers,
newspaper comic strips under the glass, so you can
I
have
heard
something to.
Tarantino wrote Pulp Fiction setting in one of those booths right there.
Well, he licks feet from the waitresses, so he's very big over there. Look at Rena's
Barney's Beanery.
Barney's Bonery.
Is that on Sunset or is it on Melrose?
I think Sunset. If I'm. Oh wait. No wait. I gotta think about that.
John Biel.
Hollywood.
Kai Matthews. I told a mom's story already. Let's see.
You got Hollywood Boulevard, and then as you head south, then you got Sunset.
There's actually different. There's different locations. Actually,
I want to say it's on Sunset. I could be wrong.
The one in Hollywood, it's on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Is it Santa Monica?
Ooh.
Okay, all right. I was off.
Route 66. Okay. That's
been there.
Santa Monica
there,
Boulevard, right?
Been there though. Yeah, there's plenty of good places to eat out here in Hollywood, and yeah, they have all sorts of stuff. JR says Barney's Beanery has the smallest booths in the world. I don't know. I mean, they also have the fattest customers, so it's hard to judge. It depends.
It's your point of view.
If I would have sat in there during the pandemic, I wouldn't have fit in the booth. I look like Burt Ward during the pandemic. I've lost weight since the last few months, but yeah. Not back then, boys and girls. Let's see. What else we got? We got anything else going on in the news? I think that's pretty much it. Let's see.
So hungry now. That looks so good.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry too. What do you think? What do you think, Johnny? Are we good?
Yeah. Where are we at?
Cigarettes after leaving the.
What are we? What are we up? What are we up on thumbs up? How many thumbs up do we have?
I don't know.
Fizzy holes.
20.
87. Let's get 10 more thumbs.
See if we can get 10 more thumbs. If you're watching the video, you had a little fun with us tonight. If you had a little fun with us tonight, take a second, hit the like button, because why not? Let's see if we could get 10 more thumbs up before we call it a night.
Yeah,
thank you, Jesus Rapes.
Take those away. Turn them into these. Hurry.
There you go. Yeah, take a second. Renus wants to eat dinner at the Uranus Lounge after the show. That's where Jeff Bezos is flying to in his penis ship.
Oh my gosh.
That fucking penis rocket, Jeff Bezos. You're fucking billionaire. You get to ride a giant penis. That's your big lot in life. My mother was excited about watching the lift off, but that was it. All the girls diddling their clits watching the lift off. You know who else had a ship like that? Josie and the Pussycats. Remember they had like a kind of a bulbous headed ship. Remember Josie and the Pussycats in outer space, the cartoon?
Oh yeah, I remember it. I'm an old guy. That was Saturday morning stuff.
They had kind of a penis ship. Johnny, take down that stupid survey.
But they never had a bass player,
right?
They had
distracting from the actual.
They had one cute girl playing the drums. They had a girl on guitar, but the other girl was on like a little keyboard. And I'm like, well, where's the bass player at, man?
Well, no, bass players don't get laid, so they didn't need a bass player. They're a girl band.
Yeah, no bass player.
No bass player. Yeah, if you haven't left a thumbs up, take a second. Let's see if we can get 10 more.
The Yeah. Name
9
the bands
more
that do not have bass players.
Mr. Hellstorm says, or now just Hellstorm, for the artist formerly known as Mr. Hellstorm. Mancuda, check out the new merch on the Savatage website. Killer stuff on there. I am a huge Savatage fan. Johnny, can you go on their website while we're waiting for a couple more thumbs up? Just real quick, because I really do love Savatage. Probably another one of those most underrated bands out there. John Alva, an incredible vocalist.
All these artists, that we loved from back in the day, they're still making new music. Go and watch videos from Night Ranger's got tons of new stuff. George Lynch and the dude from Stryper has a really killer band.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, what they call
Michael Sweet.
Michael Sweet. Something Bomb. Sun Bomb. Is that what it was?
No, Sunbomb is Tracy Guns and Michael Sweet.
Oh, that's right.
Which is also excellent.
That's also good stuff. Really good.
Yeah. I mean, these are the all-stars. I mean, they're not doing any wrong.
I saw you mentioned Loverboy. I saw Candlebox doing Turn Me Loose.
Oh, there you go.
Brand new video where they all are in their separate places, however they can pull that together. But yeah, Loverboy doing Turn Me Loose.
It's cool. During the pandemic, we saw a lot of mixed covers from fun bands.
And
yeah, Mike B's Tracy Guns is absolutely badass. Johnny, you have that Savatage website?
Oh, here it is.
Those live stream things that COVID started, and it was the only way we could do anything is, hey, you're on your computer, I'm on mine, we're jam, and they all sound great. And that's one thing that COVID did start is now we're going to have that style of video from here on out. I've seen Rudy Stars.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I just want to get through this goddamn pandemic. Just everyone get the damn vaccine already, just so we could fucking get back to life.
I agree.
Sabotage. I could spend
bad. Get your shots.
I could spend. Yeah, all of us on here are vaccinated. I could spend a lot of money on a Savatage website. Look at that. Edge of Thorns, Hall of the Mountain King jersey, Savatage logo beanie. I don't know if I'd wear a logoed beanie, unless it said Mancuda, but yeah, I know, Renus. Shutdowns are happening again. It's killing me. Everyone just get the damn vaccine already. Collection apparel. Go to apparel, Johnny, because I love a good T-shirt.
Oh, but he's saying herpes are turning up.
Yeah, that's Renus. Let's see. That's some great stuff. Sirens. Ooh. How often do you find, T-shirts of the vintage Savatage stuff, like Sirens? Dungeons Are Calling, another great vintage album. Gutter Ballet, my personal favorite Savatage song ever. What's it? Let's see. Poets and Madmen. Hall of the Mountain King, Edge of Thorns. That's some great stuff. No kidding. Thank you for turning me on to that, man.
Sometimes, some of us guys, we've missed out on some certain bands, and maybe it's because you're from New York. Is that?
I've seen Savatage a bunch of times.
I think I missed out on this band.
This is a band that their first video that you really saw was Hall of the Mountain King. And they did a bunch of other great albums before then. Hall of the Mountain King was kind of where it started putting them on the map. And, then when Gutter Ballet came out, that was their big break. And then from Gutter Ballet, you did Streets, which was the rock opera, inspired by the song Gutter Ballet. And it was absolutely terrific concept album. Love Streets. And from there, they were just off and running. Then everyone knew who they were. And then they branched off into also Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which is basically a sister band of Savatage. They've been popular since in the metal world. But this is a band that really deserves...
Would you call them East Coast? They're not an LA band, are they?
I'm not even sure where they're from.
I think
I'm not even sure.
Probably in East Coast or the Midwest.
I know I've seen. I've seen them a few times. I've seen them in various states, so I'm not really sure where they originate from. Does anyone in the chat know where they're originally from? Savatage? And rest in peace, Chris Oliva. Chris Oliva, another of the most underrated heroes, unfortunately got killed in a drunk driving accident. This is yet another reason why I'm so against drunk drivers. Get a fucking Uber, designated driver. I'm always the designated driver for my friends. If I think anyone's in any danger, I'm always the designated driver. Because I don't drink.
East Coast in Florida. Yeah, Florida band.
Florida, yes.
Most
Florida.
likely why I missed out on them.
That's correct. That's correct.
They didn't play the Marquee Theater here in Phoenix, or the one of the small venues here in Phoenix, I guess.
Thank you, David Shea Gomery. Thank you. Thank you, Renus. Thank you, Hellstorm. Thank you, Kai Matthews.
The Mason Jar someplace.
Yeah, no, they're from Florida, and fucking phenomenal. Chris Oliva was a legend that just so deserved to be recognized and so deserves to be mourned. Just fucking amazing guitarist. So yeah, I could spend a lot of money on Savatage merch. It's all good, and they have so many albums. You don't even realize how many damn albums. They're like Manowar in that, not the same style. I'm just saying they have so many albums, and you don't realize it. If you look through their catalog, Johnny, see if they have some of their out of print stuff in the music merch. Go back one spot.
And so were they around in the MTV days, or did they miss out on
they were around, but like I said, the first ones you saw was Hall the Mountain King, and then Gutter Ballet, and then Streets. And before that, all their early stuff you didn't get to see.
Right.
All right, so let's see. So
you missed out on.
So let's see. Dungeons of Calling LP, Hourglass Picture Disc. What's that blue one at the bottom? Sirens. That's nice to see as an LP. One of their early, very cool pieces. They don't offer that much music there, but go online. I mean, you can probably get most of it on Amazon. There may be a couple of early ones that are rare. I mean, probably Fight for the Rock. Fight for the Rock might be a little tough. Dungeons of Calling might be a little tough. I don't know if they reissued that. And yeah, Mike Johnson, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is basically an offshoot of Savatage. Wake of Magellan was an amazing concept album. I mean, listen, I've never met a Savatage album I didn't like. There you go. Wear your mask, but be cool about it. Get a Savatage mask. Hell yes. Yeah, no, I never met a Savatage album I didn't like. The early stuff was heavier. It was, how do I even describe it? It was kind of power metal. And it became more progressive, kind of like, the way Queensryche became and Dream Theater became. But through that whole evolution, the whole band is still great, whether it's, as early Savatage as a power metal group or getting later into the, their more advanced stuff. It's always been good. I've never, ever listen to a bad Savatage album. When they're live, they're great. And Trans-Siberian, for that matter, is great. I think I told the story on the air that one year my dad was yelling at me to turn my stereo down. I happened to be playing, I think, Hall of the Mountain King, the album, the CD. And I turned it down, and he starts playing music downstairs, and I start listening. I'm like, holy fuck, it's Trans-Siberian. And he didn't know it was the same band. Mm-hmm. And I go downstairs. I'm like, hey, Dad, what are you listening to? Nothing you would like. I'm like, oh, what are you listening to? It's an orchestra. I'm like, oh, I like some orchestras. What's the name of it? Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'm like, oh, that sounds real interesting. That's real interesting. Dad, I happen to have that album, and the music I was just listening to is the same fucking band. It's the same band, you turd. Yeah. And he didn't believe me at first, and I was like, yeah. And finally is just like, oh well, this is better. You know. So there
Dane,
you go. What do you got there, Dane?
Where'd you get that?
This is
man?
probably something better for Saturday night.
That's
but
something
this
better
is
than everything.
This is a
It's better than everything we've done in the last 4 hours.
And okay, so about 3 years ago, a photographer came into my store and he goes, man, I took all these. I used to work for Fender or somebody. I took all these. He signed his name right down here. But I took all these photos when I worked, and it says 2009 right here, EVH 5150.
Yeah.
But this is Eddie in 5150 standing in front of all his guitar, in front of his racks of guitars. And if you look over here, you can see, you can see that green Rasta one possibly. And I don't know if he still had that in 09. But this is probably something better for when you guys are all talking Van Halen. But how freaking cool is that?
But I'm gonna show it. But I'm gonna show it anyway. I'm gonna show it anyway while we're talking about Sabotage, because there's no wrong time for Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, good.
That's awesome.
I didn't mean to get in the way of your story.
Dude, he's the greatest of all time. You can't tell me there's a wrong time for Eddie Van Halen. The GOAT.
Cool. So that guy took
the king.
Took that.
Yeah,
that's really badass.
You might be able to get Mark
5150. That's pretty badass.
I've got another one that is kind of cool. I've given a lot of them away.
If you're giving that one away, let me know.
I thought were the best.
Johnny's got a shipping address, Dane, that we all like using.
Who's this guy?
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
Fucking Richie Kotzen.
Johnny, which do you want, the Richie or the Eddie?
Ooh. Oh, the Eddie, of course.
I can't give that away, man. I'm sorry, I have to keep that one. I had a Richie Kotzen telly for a while, but I sold it. You can't keep all of them.
Did you ship it?
No.
No ship. Never ship.
No ship.
Never ship.
No cruise ship.
And Hellstorm brings up something interesting. John and Chris Caffery and Al Petrelli they're all writing new music. And Jack Frost was also in Sabotage. You have Chris Cafferty, Jack Frost. What are you bringing Willie Nelson on?
Give it up to Willie, though. Come on, guys. How old is this guy? Still wants
the only Willie that's on my 80s metal show is my Willie.
Still wants to play his guitar in front of an audience. Still wants to smoke weed and get out on that bus and have a good time.
Yeah, but he does that on Fridays, not on Tuesdays. Yeah, you could pull that away. Not that one. We'll go back to Sabotage. Yeah, no, but you had a bunch of other great guitar players in Sabotage.
I gave that. I had an Eddie Van Halen. Neanderthal has it, but it was the grill cloth from a Marshall 412 cab.
Yeah,
and it had like a photo. I got it from the very same guy.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
and it's got
Paul has that in his background.
In his car.
Oh, that's one of Eddie's Marshall covers.
No, it just had a picture of Eddie sitting in a car smoking a cigarette.
It's a print.
So it's printed on there. That's
printed.
Cool.
He's got a music band sitting in his lap, a Wolfie sitting in his lap.
Every time we see Paul, we see it in his background. It's like it's like over his right shoulder.
To him.
Oh, that's cool.
Once in a while, I'll give something away.
All right, we're having the great Dane Zimmerman giveaway, ladies and gentlemen.
Give it away now.
We do that on Halloween. Dane is a contributing sponsor.
I bought my girlfriend a new phone. I have to add too, because I got all mad about it.
Mm-hmm. You got all mad about what?
I apologize to her, or not? But
that was an apology gift. What'd you do wrong?
Yeah, that's the apology right there.
What'd you do wrong? What'd you do wrong?
Cleanse
your soul. Cleanse your soul and admit it to her.
He's a bass player, so just put the two together.
That's enough. Uh-huh. Well, you know he didn't have sex with anyone. He's a bass player, so he's okay. Apologies to my buddy Mike, who's also a bass player and probably watching. So There you go, Johnny. How are we doing on thumbs up? What are we up to?
Probably good.
What are we up to? Let's see. If you haven't left a
Probably
thumbs up
good.
on the
I
video,
think that
please
photo of
hit
Eddie
that.
Van Halen at 5150 Studios
we're
is
almost
deserving of at least like 10 or 15 thumbs right there.
We're almost there. Thank you. Almost there. Can we get 7 more thumbs to make it 100? I don't know. What do you think? I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
if we could get 7 more thumbs, I'll let the audience pick the next topic.
Wait,
6 more.
everybody look at this.
6.
We could get 6 more. We're almost
Come on,
there.
this photo should get at least 6 more thumbs up for
Just
being
for
able to
the
look at
Eddie photo.
one of a kind. It has never been in a magazine. It has never been on Saturday Night Live.
Just because we respect and promote the greatest guitarist of all time, that alone deserves 6 thumbs up.
3 more.
Those guitars, you guys, if you really wanted to,
Keith
and
Campbell
I would
wants
like
those
to
photos.
do, we could go through every one of these guitars
Yeah.
and figure out what that one is, especially these right here, right?
Zoom in on that.
Look
zoom
how
in on
he's
that.
got different photos and shit.
Dane,
he's
Dane,
got
Dane,
stickers.
zoom in on that guitar section, that naked guitar section to the right. Let's see how close we could get a little closer. A little more. Just a little more. Right there. Right there. What do you think, Johnny?
Okay.
I mean, the white and black is obviously a stripe.
Again,
The
it's
white and black.
2009.
Right there. Don't move.
The white and black, that might be the Rude. That might be the Rude guitar. Below that is a bass. That looks like that might be like
that
maybe,
is a bass.
maybe a Rickenbacker, maybe.
Like it's a natural one.
Below that is a bass as well.
What about that green one? Is that the Rasta thing? That,
No.
No.
No, that's a bass.
No,
That's a bass.
Dweezil had that a while back.
That's a bass.
So,
It's
yeah.
possible those are all basses, actually, because they're all grouped
you know,
together
that
like
could
that.
yeah, that could be Wolfgang's, because Wolfgang played a striped bass like that. So that is possible. Those could be Wolfies.
And there actually is video of a photo shoot. Maybe not that particular one, but maybe as well. So there actually is video footage of that wall.
Hey, look at this one right
That I've
here.
seen.
It says
No, that's
Nez
cool.
on there.
Nez, like
all doing up in there?
Ibanez.
I think it said married Nez. There you go. That's
Ibanez.
Nez. That's Dave Nesdahl gave a guitar over there.
The hell's Nesdahl doing at 5150?
Eddie invited him over. Said, "Hey Nez, come on over for lunch.
Ah.
Why not?
That story is true.
Bring Desiree. Why not?"
By the way,
Maybe read these little bumper stickers he's got on here. I don't know if I can do this or not.
And he say, "See ya." Let's see what this
Fender
say.
P90 Telly. Yeah, those are stickers that say what's in the case. So when they're looking for a guitar, they know what's in it.
He didn't just put blue tape on there and write it.
That's what I do. I use the painter's tape on all my cases. The problem is when you have stuff in a gig bag, that's a pain in the ass, because then it just falls off. You wake up on a humid day and like 30 gig bags all like are unlabeled suddenly. They're all on the ground.
Yeah.
So
That's a great picture, man. You're going to have to come back on and bring that on like on a Saturday night, man.
I will.
And we'll analyze it a little further.
Awesome. All right. Our thumbs ups are going the opposite direction now. So
What the fuck?
No.
Yeah, I know who that is, and that's not cool. That's not cool.
all right. I got a split too.
Probably Neanderthal. You guys talking about Van Halen again?
Nah.
Hasn't everything been said?
Anyone that leaves a thumbs down for Eddie Van Halen should be thrown out of a 20-story window. So just saying.
Wow.
There you go.
By the way, I know tomorrow is the last Wednesday of the month, but
That means
that means there will not be
a
Metal Wednesday tomorrow.
What the fuck?
I forget why. I think Boner Jams has something else he has to do. But I think we might be moving it to I looked at my calendar.
All right,
It's
as long
another
as
date.
it's not you, Renus. That's all I care about.
Another date will be this Metal Wednesday, and you'll see it. As long as you're subscribed to the channel, click the bell so you get the notifications when I create the session for it. You'll see it. Or I can look at my texts right now. Next, huh? Wait a minute.
Elderly Johnny Beane. Right,
We can push our next show to next Wednesday. All right, so next Wednesday instead. So August 4th will be Metal Wednesday.
I'll be with Boner Jams and the great Jay Hannon of the band Gizmachi.
Yes. Yeah,
Nice.
it'll look like that.
That's what it looks like. I love that photo so much. Thank you, Cobra Kai Platoon. You're the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Let's say thank you to our very treasured and valuable channel members who we love, appreciate, and respect, like executive producer Charles Green, my buddy Fruitcake Tony, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, Mike Neese, Richard Poole, Linny Lou, and my little geriatric sex kid, and Mary, Gargets Entertainment, Kurt 5150, Susan Silvestri, hey Susan, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Nicole Mrazek, Sean Bolland, Wayno, Stephen Franklin, Will Starr, R. Habs, KXM Rock, David Shea Gormley, and Mrs. Gormley, Bo Zeke, Crazy Cook 678, Carol Hatcher, False Flag, Margaret Scranton, Sean Silas, Trevor Burson, Jarhead Rock. Welcome back, Jarhead. Always good to see you in the chat, brother. As well as our other channel members, such as Hal Face, John Moronic, James Gum, Hillary Lewis, Jim Nicholas, Mr. 802 Blues, Mr. BHB Jr., that's Bruce, right? Frag 5150, Pal Guitars, Dan Halen, Frank Corcoran, Ben Tom, and of course Tom Jr., Jeff T, R2, R3 Locking Nut, Fernando Riley, Robot Master Switch, 6 Chick 71, Rick Green, the Chad, 2 Brain Cells, G-Man, Thomas Santiago, Voodoo SJ, that's my buddy Sean Johnson, Brian Spalding, Fender Guru, Music Therapy, Laz, Ghost BC Rich, 5150 TV, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, Hugh Caldwell, David Crosby is a dildo fucker. I am not. Sure is. Jesus Rapes Me, Randy Price, James 5150, Christopher Live, Sawa, Laguna Palms, Murphy, Steve Barton, All Dave, All Night, Tuba, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
There you go, Johnny. Delayed reaction to you.
Awesome.
There we go.
Awesome.
And thank you, of course, to our dear friends at Bang Energy Drink. Bang, when you got to get the taste of sperm out of your mouth. Bang Energy Drink also works on vaginas.
I had some Bang Energy Drink people come into my store the other day.
I had some vaginas coming into my... Oh, wait, what are you talking about?
I was telling them that you had those people. They came into your store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were they again now? Thank you, Stephen
They
Frank.
pulled up in a really decked out SUV covered in Bang Energy Drink like
Nice.
it was wrapped.
I love
a
that.
real cute little girl and some guy,
Yeah.
just some dude. And
Cute little girl,
they were handing out Bang Energy drinks, and I'm like, "Holy smokes, guys, come in here, give me some Bang."
Send it to my address. Cute little girl with Bang Energy Drink, 2 of my favorite things. There you go. And of
So
course,
I did about a
of course,
1 minute live stream with them.
I had
saw
sex.
it.
It only took about 1 minute. And thank you everybody for leaving thumbs up on the video. And of course, we love and appreciate comments left on the video, and we reply to them all because we love and appreciate our audience. We really do. Thank you everybody for watching and hanging with us the last 4 hours. And of course, like and subscribe. We will see you next Thursday. And of course, don't forget to watch Sunday, the new show.
Said next Thursday.
What?
Did you say Thursday or Tuesday?
I said, I'll see you next. I hope I said Tuesday.
Okay,
I'll see you next Tuesday for Talking Guitars and 80s Metal. But don't forget.
What did he say in the chat?
But don't
Sounded
forget,
like Thursday.
I think he said Thursday. It was
All right,
accident.
He
It was
said
a slip.
Thursday.
it was
I
an
heard
accident. I bet. Listen, I fucked up the Warrior
See you
story
next
badly
Thursday.
today. So yeah, I'll see you next Thursday. Yeah. Boy, am I a moron today. Yeah, anyway, so thank you, everybody. And make sure, be safe, get vaccinated. Let's get through this goddamn pandemic already. I want to get back to live music and stop losing my friends to
Yes,
to a
get
deadly
vaccinated.
virus.
What is the worst
Just-
thing that could happen if they
Yeah, what, you live?
jab you
Is
with
that the
that?
worst thing that happens?
Your
So
dick falls off, or what's going to happen, right?
yeah, mine already happened. So thank you, everybody. And much love to everybody. Thank you for watching and hanging with us. Rock on, everybody.
Good night.
See you on Tuesday. Look, we're the darlings of the Apple Podcasts. Isn't that amazing? Oh, John, the show was another terrible disappointment and an embarrassment to the family.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up. And don't forget, brand new show, the Sunday Night String Change show. 11:59 p.m. Eastern, Sundays. With myself and Jay Hannon and special guests. So join us. All right, who wanted to see this? There you go. All right, good night, everybody.